Hola. I
Hey
think it's
guys.
streaming.
Yeah, it is. I don't know. This is all new for us, so this is
I
our first
know.
episode. Um, so we're here to talk about all things divine.
Yes, yes. Super
Tuesday.
exciting.
Yes.
So, yeah, today I figured while people come in, we could just kind of chat about what we've been doing, what we're up to, experiences, and all that kind of good stuff. Because how do you feel about getting into perception today?
Of course.
Yep,
Because
we're
I
going to
always
get.
tell people everything is a matter of perception,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes we misperceive
Exactly.
the way that it is.
That would be a good start, I think, for our first show.
Yeah.
For sure. I'm just checking right now to see if it's streaming on my end.
It says it is on
Yeah, I
this side. I
saw
can get
that.
on this side.
Mm. I'm going to try to log into one of my other YouTube channels real fast. I guess Lights at Midnight and just make sure. Yep, there it is.
So, in the description box, if you want to go ahead and follow Luminary Luna Beams, Beams, you can just go into the description box and all of her information is right there.
Yep,
What she's about, where to find her. So if you haven't subscribed over there, go subscribe over there. She does need some subscribers. Um, and then all the ways to support me, as you know, is down below as well. Um, I do have one more spot uh, for the private group, the private mediumship group, private platform group, whatever you want to call it. If more people are interested, I will add more dates, probably going into April. So, FYI.
yeah.
All
Sounds
right.
fun. I kind of want to come into one of your events. I'm going to have to see about if you do another one later on. I definitely want to come in and just hang out because I do have a relative that I want to get in touch with. So we'll see if she comes through. She had strong energy in life. She was wide open. It was my grandma, not my great grandma. So I might have to tune into that at some point. But yeah, so guys, basically, I'm gonna make sure my volume's down. I want to be able to see my chat. Perfect. Okay, but yeah, basically, this week I had a really bad paranormal case that we're still working on with Lights at Midnight. Me and Emily, the fine art medium. We helped out a client, and she seems very optimistic. She's got a lot of challenges to overcome. But basically, we were able to go in and kind of, get everything going. So I have basically two socials. I have my Luminary Luna Beams account where I do all my own personal stuff, and I'm ready to get on a schedule. I also do Lights at Midnight podcast, and I put my heart and soul into that. Me and Emily both have for the last like year and a half, but I'm ready to kind of get more content on my channel and excited to be live with Rochelle. She's super awesome to let me be here with you guys. So we want to bring y'all some knowledge. And again, this won't be channeling really. This will be more of a live discussion. So you guys will be able to participate and ask questions. We're going to have topics to kind of discuss, and that way you can get in on the discussion. Um, as far as like projects and stuff coming up, I'm hoping to start my own classes soon. I'm going to talk about intuitive development, like lunar phases and different types of abilities and all kinds of stuff. Plus some other things I'm not quite ready to share yet, but I'm super excited about that too. So besides that and Lights at Midnight, and the Luminary, it's a lot actually. Social content is hard.
It is. It's hard to keep up with. That's why I like tell everybody, especially with what we do, because it's so draining. People don't
Hmm.
understand. It's so draining because we're feeling other emotions. We're feeling the universe's emotions. We're feeling the world's emotions. And so it's really one of those things where it's like super draining. So it's hard to keep up with everything when you've got multiple socials going on. With
Yeah.
YouTube and TikTok and um, Patreon and all that stuff. Like I do multiple things and I can't keep up. Honestly, I can't. And like you were saying, like with the new moon, it's killing me. For some
Hmm.
reason, moon phases, they make me exhausted to where I get to where I like get in this slump where I'm just tired and I don't want to do anything. I like do my readings and I don't even want to do that. Like I struggle at least a week out of the month and it seems to always be the same time of the month,
Yep.
which is like you were saying, the new moon, which I didn't know that. I thought the new moon would give me energy. Apparently it does not.
Some people it does. It just depends on like your personal lunar cycle. So I was born like right on the new moon. Some people were born, at the waxing crescent. Some are born on the full moon, and it's different for everybody. I know Emily talks about having tons of energy on the new full moon, and I generally do too. But the day before the new moon, like I think it's tomorrow. I'm really bad. I should have checked because I am the Luminary Luna Beams and all. But I'm going to get up to date on that. I was going to check before the live, but I forgot. But I'm sure it's the next following 2 days, because I feel like I could just pass out right now. And I've already slept half the day. Because if y'all can't notice, my face is a little swollen on this side. I'm having a tooth problem. So I do apologize if I look kind of weird. But hopefully the contouring did its job. But yeah, basically the new moon energy, like that's when we start to try to like the new beginnings. That's when we set our intentions. That's when we rest too. We're supposed to rest. So the last like week up until the new moon, people might start to notice that they're slowing down, that things are kind of coming to a close in certain specific areas of their life. And then as we work towards the full moon, it's like planting a seed and watching it grow. And then we get illuminated during the full moon, and generally the day of the new moon I get energy. Some people don't. I'm like ready to go, my intuition's on point. But like the last week of the lunar cycle, I'm kind of sluggish. Even my psychic abilities change with the new moon, and I'm excited to bring a class about that, because there's a lot you can learn about manifesting with the moon, honestly.
I think, a couple days ago, I was getting all the visions of the world stuff, and I was like, okay, whenever I start getting those visions, Spirit's like, all right, it's time to do a new world events. So everybody's always telling me, can you do another Autowrite? Can you do another Autowrite? But I do it when Spirit tells me. When they start showing me world events, then I know it's time. Because otherwise, if I do it at the wrong timing, they have timing with everything. So definitely, like, I started getting that, but then at the same time, I've been just like, like there's so much I want to do and need to do, but it's just like I can't make myself do it. It's so bad. I just had a healing too. I just had a healing, and she removed a bunch of stuff, and so I should feel better, but I don't. So that's where I've been, you guys. I've been trying to rejuvenate as much as I can, because I still work every day, so it's not really a break, but
no, but you do a great job at what you do.
Well, thank you. I try, but I just don't feel like like I get everything accomplished I need to get accomplished, kind of sucks.
Yeah. So, I completely understand. It's a lot. And myself.
You see people posting stuff all the time, like on TikTok, and it's like, I can't even get on here to do one video for TikTok.
I know. I wish I had unlimited energy, but you're right. Spirit has timing. Spirit is going to tell us when we need to do things. And that's part of like our perception too. We'll get into that, I guess, about how our perception affects our intuitive gifts. And, everybody has a sense of intuition. Everybody has like that gut feeling, even if you're not like me or Rochelle. And, everybody, I don't know, this is a topic of debate we should definitely talk about. How do you feel about mediums that say everybody can be psychics or psychic mediums?
How I feel about that? I feel like everybody they can tune in. It doesn't mean that they're going to be all the same. I feel like that we come from the other side and we're able to tap into that energy, but that doesn't mean that everybody's going to be a medium, or everybody's going to be psychic, or they're going to channel the same way that you and I do. Like we all have our specific gifts, and we all have our certain things we're supposed to do in life. So some might be stronger at it than others, but I still feel like we can always learn, because I did. I mean, I can't say that's not possible, because when I asked for my gifts, I got them, and it just took a lot of work. Like, it's a lifestyle. So, it's definitely, it's not just, I just want to connect to Spirit. There's a lot that goes to it. People don't understand, because you wear different hats. Like, you wear a psychologist hat, you wear a grief counselor hat, you wear, someone to bitch to hat, like all these different hats, and it just gets it can get overwhelming, and you're trying to be there for everybody, and so we have to have boundaries too. But it's like, no, I agree that everybody, it's a talent. Like, who is that? Is it John Edwards that says, like, it's a talent, it's not a gift, like it's something that we learn we can do. Anybody can tap in. It's just how much you're willing to work on it, how much you're willing to grow, and how, like, what you're meant to do with it. Like, my abilities are in my astrology chart. Your abilities are in your astrology chart. A lot of the times, if we're meant to have abilities, it'll be in our astrology chart and what we're meant to do with it. You know, and a lot of times we've had it in past lives, so we're going to have it again. You know.
Yeah,
I've read for people that have past lives in that, but then they're not into it this time. They know that they have a spiritual path, they're drawn to it, but they're not wanting to tap into it, but yet they've done it in past lives. So they could if they wanted to, but they just don't want to this life, you know?
Yeah, Emily's told me in my past life I was a shaman, and I resonate with that. Like, I know that I'm Native American. I have Native American like blood running through me, but I'm pretty sure I was a part of some like tribal type shamanism work, and I've done this many lives because it just hit me out of nowhere. And you know what's so interesting is I agree with everything that you're saying. Like, it all depends on like our direction and where we're going, but it's so great to try to develop your intuition, at least on a level of understanding, and being able to perceive the information you're getting, because you're able to take that discernment, it's really discernment, and use it throughout your life to make better choices, because free will does exist. But at the same time, you know, we also have a destiny. So we're going to always get to the same point some way, but it depends on how much we want to veer off track. And I know I was 30 when I got my abilities, or when they started like hitting me, but mine come in totally different. Like when yours kind of come in the same, because we did that podcast interview with you, and you did your origins over on Lights at Midnight. I think it was like episode 28 or 29, and like all my stuff was spooky. Like I didn't understand. Like I'd always had intuition, and I'd always had that sixth sense, but wasn't sure how to perceive the information. And that's when you get into like your psychic symbols and your cues and all that. And anybody can do that. But when it comes to like doing it for a living like we do, it is a lifestyle, and it changes your life. And you know, it's tough these days. Like I'm getting into Sylvia Brown, like watching some older stuff of hers and reading just out of curiosity. I'm like, how cool would it be for her to like help me? Really?
I started, see, when I was in my 20s, I had a situation, and there was someone that was really spiritual in this adult school I was going to, and she gave me her book. And I read that book, and it helped me understand the situation, you know, what I had done wasn't really that bad like I thought it was, you know. And so that's where it all started. But I had watched her, of course, when I was younger with my grandma on the talk shows and stuff like that, because my grandma, she was, you know, this Christian lady, but she was always into like clairvoyance, and like she was always into that side of stuff. But back then you didn't really talk about it that much, you know. So, you know, I grew up with her being open about all that kind of stuff. But yeah, about when I was in my 20s, or actually, yeah, it was about when I was in my 20s, that's when I got the book, and that's when I started to kind of look at things a little differently. So that's where it started for me. So that's why, you know, whenever people kind of bash her, I get upset, and I always say, like, I don't want to be like her, mess up one time and everybody remembers the time you messed up, but not all the time you were right. It drives me insane, because we're human. Like, we're not some mystical being. We don't know everything. We can misread energy. We can misperceive information. It's not like we're like some mystical beings that aren't going to mess up. We're still human at the end of the day, you know. And I love her. Like, her books helped me a lot. I learned a lot from her books. Like, that was my start. So it's funny that you say that, because, you know, a lot of
That's
people
weird.
say I don't feel that way.
Yeah, I mean, right. It's so cool though, because I was like, well, let's see how open her energy is, because, you know, I can connect with dead relatives and stuff too. I just don't do it as much as I do my other work. But I was like, let's see how like her energy is. And she came through for me. I feel she didn't stay, but she kind of popped in and was like, yeah, I can hear you. I'm here. I just wanted to test the waters, you know, just to see. And then I had a dream about her. It's so funny. It was so funny. It actually was like a prophetic type dream for my client. I had it Saturday night, Sunday morning, and went through all this kind of crazy stuff. But getting to the Sylvia Brown part, I walked into like this spiritual shop, and Sylvia Brown was there in my dream, and it was like her in her later age with her like hair that was, you know, like this or whatever. And I was like, "Hey, Sylvia, how are you?" She's like, "Good." And I'm like, "So what do you see for me in the future?" And it was almost like an unspoken conversation. You
Mhm.
know how spirits do. We don't really talk with words much. We do it, telepathically, basically. But she ended up saying, "You're going to be great one day." And I'm like, "Well, I happen to think I'm okay now. I just don't let my ego get in my way." And then she just walked away. I thought it was weird.
Yeah, I like Heather saying I went and saw her like the year before she passed away. That was for my birthday. I went, and then she passed away a year later. But that was like a cool experience for me because I'd never been to one of those things before. I didn't get read, but I ended up sitting next to a medium that ended up giving me a message later. Like we exchanged contacts and she gave me a message later, so I thought that was kind of interesting. So that just shows us like we're always where we're meant to be, and we get things how we're supposed to get them.
Yeah,
But,
I
oh
agree.
yeah, one more thing, guys. My birthday is Monday. Yay,
Oh,
yay. So if
happy
anybody wants
birthday
to
to you.
donate to for me to go have dinner with my mom and go feed the deer, you guys can.
Absolutely.
Description below, there's a link there. You don't have to, don't feel obligated, but if you guys want to, it would help me out because I always have to pay for everything. Including the gas. I gotta go all the way to Phoenix. Phoenix is like a 2.5 hour drive. Well, it's gonna be like 6 hours for me.
Oh, wow.
Because
Yeah, because you got to
it's
drive.
an hour and a half to my mom. It's an hour and a half. Well, actually, it's an hour and a half to my mom, and then it's an hour and a half to Tucson. And it's like 2 hours from Tucson, so it's quite a drive. But it's for her prosthesis. So I just
Yeah.
figured we'd do it on my birthday, make a day out of it. There's a place right outside of Tucson where you can feed the deer and the ostriches and the stingrays, and I want to go do that, and then just go to dinner.
That'll be
So
fun.
yeah, I always have to buy my own dinner for my
Right.
birthday.
Well, hopefully people that are able to will be kind enough to help you out. And happy early birthday.
Totally cool. I'll figure it out. But I was like hinting to my son, hey, son, I want to buy your mom dinner because he's working now,
Yeah,
But
that's
happy
good.
birthday, moms, to create early. 12th is the best. So,
Well,
anyways, not off topic there, but Waterfall mentioned it, so I was like, oh yeah, I forgot to mention that.
yeah, it comes up quick. I'm not ready for my next birthday and my next birthday. It's just the years are going by too fast.
No, I kind of scared my son today because there was something that was nagging me outside. Like I was outside, like feeding the goats and stuff. And sometimes your mind wanders, and I got to thinking, I never talked to my son about like what I want done if something happens to me, because I do readings all the time. And there's people that are there one day, gone the next with an aneurysm or a car accident, whatever it may be. Like we don't know when our time is. And I was like, we never talked about it. So it was nagging at me. So I came inside and I was like, if anything ever happens to me, like get to my YouTube, and ask for
Yeah.
support there, because that's the only community I have. And then if you don't want to keep any of the animals and say I've got animals that need to be rehomed, I'd rather you do it through like people from my YouTube, like people that I know first, and make sure that they have good homes. Like that's the biggest thing, is to make sure my animals are taken care of.
Right.
And I text him this, right? And I'm like telling him like what I want done with me and stuff. And he messages me. He's like, "Mom, you're not suicidal, are you?" I was like, "No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. It was just I got to thinking like our bodies are very unpredictable.
True.
You never know. So
Yeah.
sometimes people go to sleep and they don't wake up. And it's close to my birthday. I'm not getting any younger. I'm going to be 42. It's not old, but sometimes people don't even live to that age. So you never know.
Right.
So
You're true.
the crap out of him today.
Yeah. You got to take care of some things, but for him, he's like, he's around 20, right?
Yeah, he's 19.
So he's freaked out.
Well, I told him, I said that I put in there like I don't think he read it all, because I was like, this is just for if anything happens, like, not that anything's going to happen, but you can never be, now, I mean, I might live till I'm 80, we don't know, but still, that's just something. He's my only kid. He's the only one I have to take care of things for me. So
Right.
I think I freaked him out. I don't know why that was on my mind today. It was really weird. Like it's never popped in my head before,
That's That's interesting. Yeah, I'd keep that in the back of your head because that is weird. And I'm not saying for you, maybe for somebody else. You might have a case coming up where you know how spirit does.
It was just odd. I was like, you know, because I'm out here by myself. Anything can happen, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I just was thinking, hey, what's gonna happen? You know, what would happen to my animals? And so that started kind of going in my head. So, you know, we had never talked about it before, and it was just, I don't know where it came from, but it was like, I need to talk to him about this before I forget, kind of thing. We
Yeah.
never talked about it before, and me and him, like, you know when you're like 18 and they don't really contact you and stuff, but lately he's been calling me like 2 o'clock in the morning to talk to me. So he's,
Because he knows you're up.
Kind of coming around. Yeah, but
That's good.
You know how it is with kids that age, you know.
Exactly. I really do.
Got off on a tangent, but
No, you're good. It's a discussion. I mean, I'm sure a lot of the people that are viewing can relate to mouthy teenagers like I have.
well, no, it was more like I just kind of scared him and I didn't mean to, but I didn't say it like that. It was like, if anything happens, like, because life is unpredictable. I think it just kind of hit me because I do so many readings that it's like there's so many passings that are unpredictable.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So,
exactly. You just never, in doctors these days, I'm not trying to say anything bad, but especially for women, I don't think that we get listened. They don't listen to us as well as they should. Certain doctors, there's certain doctors out there that are great. Don't get me wrong. But I think sometimes we get passed over on our symptoms and stuff and like knowing when something's wrong with our body, especially people that are in tune with their body. You don't have to be a super intuitive person to be in tune with your body. So you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's always something. That's okay though. That's perception.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know where it came from. Like Tracy said, you know, it's probably the fact that I'm coming up on another birthday, and like I told him, I'm not getting any younger, child. You know,
Yep.
I'm in my 40s now. So
yep. I'll be 37 this year myself.
You're youngin'.
We're getting that's 5 years. We're 80s babies. Hey, all the 80s babies in the chat.
Yep. Love the 80s. I actually have a shirt that says made in the 80s and it has Rainbow Bride on it.
Oh, nice.
I love that all the 80s stuff is coming back.
Yeah, for sure. I miss those days. Like, it's for the folks that were born in like the 2000s, and I'm not like knocking y'all by any means. I'm just giving you a perception. It was totally different. I feel like the world feels different. The energetic vibration of the world is totally different. And once, like, this isn't conspiracy theory, this is just a thought. Once cell phones are brought into the mix and they started sending like internet through the air, that's when things started kind of getting a little weird with energy. I don't know. How do you feel about that?
I don't think I've noticed it. You know, my old mentor used to talk about like what did she call it? But like the energy lines and stuff like that. Like she thinks
the human resonance.
No, she had a word.
Ley
She
lines.
had a word or a name. Yeah, no, not ley lines. It's like you know, we have the energy poles, right? And we have all the energy that comes off of it. Like if you're close to it, she swears that like it causes cancer and stuff like that. Like I don't know, she ended up getting cancer, but that's what she would talk about that kind of stuff and a lot of different things. I mean, if we look back at it was just interesting. I was looking back into, because my mom, we were talking about Noah's Ark. I don't know why, and she was talking about how like his sons helped build it. So I said, I need to go look and see how many sons he has, because that's what she was asking about. So I go and look, and they lived till they were like 600 years old. Like, can you imagine living 600 years now? And now we can barely live in our 80s.
I know. Like, take me now, Lord. I don't want 600 years of this shit.
I don't want 600 years. But my point is that people were so much healthier back then, anyways. And even like I think that it seems like the lifespan is getting shorter and shorter because of probably chemicals, things like that are causing the cancers and whatnot, you know. I just find it, you know, interesting. But then we're going to come into now that we're getting into the Pluto and Aquarius, we're going to be coming into, there's going to be a lot of like, and this has already come in the readings, but I already know that it's going to come in the new ones, like the new Autowrites, about how there's going to be a lot of different things come up in medicine and technology and all that stuff, like the flying cars, like that came in years ago, and now that's starting, like the cancer vaccines, like that, the whole stuff with like the cure for cancer and the stuff helping with cancer, like that all came in prior readings. So this is the time for all of that, for like literally the Jetsons. Like,
Yes.
AI is taking over. Like pretty soon we're gonna have freaking robots, which is
UFOs. Aliens are ruled by Aquarius.
I would love a, well, yeah, we are, because we're the interesting ones. There's actually a tarot reader that I watch, and he calls us aliens all the time because we're so eccentric. But you know, we're literally, I think, gonna have like robots in our house and stuff. Would be awesome because they could just do a lot of our work for us.
Right. Right. If I keep going in this direction, I'm going to need a personal assistant. And if it was a robot, which we have so much great AI tools, like I am excited about AI to a good degree, but then, you know, you get the point of like the whole dualism, you know, good and evil, and what people tend to use that kind of stuff for. And you're exactly right. You know, the age of Aquarius and Pluto. So Pluto is like your final, the war, it can be even destruction sometimes and rebirth. And then Aquarius is like networking, the internet, the, you know, the hive mind. So technology over the next 20 years until 2040 will completely just like skyrocket. Like you're saying, the medical stuff, aliens, AI, the technology is going to be out of this world. I'll be in almost 60 by the time it ends. We're going to actually, I think, retrograde back just for a short time. That gives us time to finish up our Capricorn phase of Pluto. But it's definitely, you know, one of the things I got for this year is that we're going to see more of a dividing line between people. There's going to be more black and white. And of course, I'm a firm believer in gray areas. There's tons of gray areas, but people are going to be picking and choosing sides. And one of the visions that I had about 20 years from now was a great war that will be fought with guns. No, I'm sorry, with weapons that are not bullet related. There'll be energy weapons. Yeah, laser beams. It's like Austin Powers.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally going to be like Star Wars.
They had full metal suits.
Yeah, I mean, and we might not even be on this earth anymore. I don't know. I don't want to be alive and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's scary because another vision I had, well, I had a client about, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago, and he was in the military, and I was doing a read, and they're like, where are we going? What are we doing? And this was before the stuff in Iran, or Israel, I'm sorry, and now Iran and Iraq, I guess, started to happen. And I picked it up in the reading. I said, we're going to war, like not the Ukraine-Russian thing, but I picked that up, and I said, you might get drafted back in. And then I had a vision that my son's going to be super tall. He's already looking me in the face. He's 12, but I was straightening his collar out, and I was in this vision looking up at him saying, all your family has come back from war. They've never, they never passed. Like I can look back, there's only a couple relatives that did pass away. And I said, you can do this too. And I was just bawling, and I'm like, please, Lord, don't let there be a draft. Don't let there be a draft.
Well, I picked up war and stuff like years ago. You know, with the whole watching the soldiers march and stuff like that came in like a long time ago. So unfortunately, you know, I don't know if it's gonna get as far. I don't know. I have to do an Autowrite. I can't say, but I know we are gonna have kind of like civil unrest. There's gonna be a lot of civil unrest, which also came in. I was thinking about that today, but
yeah, it's tough. It's tough, but this is not. We're not trying to fearmonger or anything. We're just kind of talking about things that are
and that's
to come.
why I don't like to really do. I don't like to really do Autowrite. Like I don't like to do like world events because I don't want to freak people out, because it is a lot of negative stuff that comes in them. And I also have to prepare myself emotionally too, because a lot of the stuff that I see, I mean, there's a couple things that are good that come in, but mostly it's, you know, things to be aware of and things to prepare for and all of that. And it's like, oh, prepare for this and prepare for that. And it's like, you know, I'm just going to sit here and whatever happens.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can be prepared for anything, you know?
There's nothing we can do to change it, you know, and all these folks that are getting into like the stuff that we're into, there's a lot of people what I call coming online, like coming on board and opening up spiritually, and that changes the vibration. And I firmly feel that if more people thought positively and they had their perception not so skewed by things in the news and everything else, like the world would be a different place. It doesn't have
Yeah.
to be this way. That's just my opinion.
Our thoughts create. Yes, we have soul contracts. Yes, we have blueprints and all of that. But like you said, like we're on one main path and we can go different directions. So, it's up to us. And a lot of times, I think with the energy that people put out with all of the with all the stupid stuff with political stuff, like people are all negative about that and they fight each other. That brings out negativity. Like everything causes energy. And the more fear that you have, the more negative you think about stuff, the more that it spreads, especially when you have a lot of people doing that. So then it creates like this energy thing where people, that's why you see so much negative stuff in the news, is because people are feeling that, and they're, people don't realize how much it affects everything. Like energy, we are energy. We feel energy. The earth is energy. If we continue to put out that negative energy instead of replacing it with love, if we continue to talk about war and fighting each other instead of loving each other, then that's the difference. This is where mankind has not learned their lessons.
Exactly. And we're coming back. Like more souls are coming back to stand up to that, because there are certain people, like I firmly believe in light and dark souls. Everybody has a purpose. I don't want to get too deep into what people would consider conspiracy theories, but I do believe that certain people are here for purposes that, will never go to the light. And I do believe certain people have different types of souls. Not too many different. We're all different, but most of us, I think, come from the same place. But there is evil in the world, is what I'm trying to say. And they want to sway.
It's always a light versus dark. It's always a light versus dark type thing, like we've had times here where we've been talking and we've had angels fighting demons above my house. Like it's always a light versus dark thing. We always have, so the light beings really have to rise up and really put that out, and everybody, we have to start spreading love and spreading light instead of everything that we're spreading. And a lot of times too is people are, we're judgmental. We can't be judgmental of other people's paths either. That's another thing. Like we have to we've never walked in their shoes, so we can't judge. We can't judge people's paths and the mistakes that they've made either, because that's what they chose in their blueprint regardless,
Right. And that's
and
the great.
Even the negative people, even the serial killers, and there's still a purpose there. There's still learning happening, even if people don't like it. So
yeah, and that's the hardest thing to accept, that sometimes crappy things are going to happen to us, and some people get more crappy stuff than others. But in the retrospective, we signed up for our life to be this hard, so our soul can learn that lesson. Because if we never came here to learn, then we would never our souls wouldn't evolve, basically.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about perception.
We can't learn from things that are easy all the time. We just can't. You don't learn. I mean, Earth is just a school, and it's the bravest souls come to Earth, and it's to learn what we need to learn so we can evolve and we can graduate. It's not real. Home is real. This is just a place that we come. It's just a lower vibrational place that we come. Our energy lives on, and there's proof in that all the time. But I think the more people, if people would start seeing it that way, that Earth is just like a school, like just a place that we just come to, like, deal with karma, learn things, then they might have a higher perspective of understanding. Because on the other side, they don't have any negativity. It's all love, light, beauty. There's none of that there. There's none of that humanity. A lot of the times when people make mistakes and things, it has to do with their humanity.
Exactly. And we all are only human.
Yeah, we're only human.
Even us.
Even us. That's why I tell people, like, I still have people come at me for certain things in Idaho for. Okay, like two things that they pick out of the 98% that fit BK allegedly. Two things. Oh, he did not have a beard and mustache and facial hair. Just because I say bearded mustache does not mean a full bearded mustache. It means facial hair of any kind. It was literally stated that he grew facial hair, and that's why he went to the barber. He became disheveled. So I can see them at any point. It was switching back and forth because afterwards, he had that. So whenever you start saying that, they start saying, oh, it's someone else, it's someone else, it's someone else. And it's like, that's the matter of perception. And then the point where I said, well, I felt like he was really close, or he lived really close. 8 miles isn't very far. Someone can walk 8 miles. He ran there. That's still not very far. But as far as if somebody's energy being close, you can always misperceive that. Like if someone's stalking you and is around you all the time and their energy feels close, you can always perceive it as, oh, well, maybe they live close. That's how I perceived it. But I always felt like he was just right there, right there. So, it's hard when people pick and choose things that I can misperceive. I might not perceive it right. So I myself am trying to learn how to just say what I'm getting and not like try to figure out what it means. Like I can give examples, but not try to figure out what it means, because it's going to fit how it's going to fit anyways. And that's a lesson that I'm having to learn on my own. And I will never say beard and mustache again. I'll just say facial hair.
Right. Right. And people are so technical. They want like the truth, even if they see it like for a ghost, for example, or even if they see something paranormal. After so much time, they kind of like forget that experience and they convince themselves that it's not real. And, people can just have these up close encounters, and based on like their perception of reality, like you either are going to, what's the word for it? You're either going to rise or you're going to fall to that situation. Does that make sense? Like you're going to accept it or you're not going to accept it. And it's okay. Not everybody's meant to have a huge spiritual path. We're all, I think, meant to kind of see it at some point. It's just like people don't believe in the paranormal. And then when I start talking about how our emotions directly affect how things are attracted to us, is that how it happens 100% of the time? Absolutely not. But if we're in a low vibratory state, we're more susceptible to paranormal issues or spiritual issues. And people don't want to accept that, because a lot of times, and I'm not trying to be rude when I say this, but people don't want to take accountability for their own learning, their own actions. And I have to tell my clients that I do paranormal work with, everybody's great and they're awesome. I have awesome clients, honestly, but I really tell them, you have to learn, you have to educate yourself. And that's part of your job in this, because I can make something leave, I can make something go away, but I can't make it stay away, because if you keep up with the same actions and the same patterns, it's going to come back. And some of it is psychological. It's a big psychological thing, but there are things in this world we cannot explain that are both positive and negative. Just as much angels as there is what people refer to as demonic. But that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, but that's what I always tell people. Like when your vibration's low, for one, you can't attract things into your life. You can't attract good people. You attract your vibe. So if your vibe is low, you're going to attract the crappy people. You're going to attract the people that are on that vibe, And then, so we always try here, like on my channel, to make it a high vibe, but we have those people that still creep in, and I have to remind myself all the time, oh, they're just not ready. They're on a low vibration. We just mute, get them out of here. That's even hard for me not to go at it, because I get very protective of my gifts. I'm very protective of spirit. So it's very hard for me as an Aquarius not to say anything. Because I'm not one known for keeping my mouth shut.
Oh, you're feisty. You're going to get them.
I get really, really, like, the biggest thing is don't come at me and tell me to lock up my animals. Like I'll go off.
It's your house. It's your life. It's your stuff.
You have people coming back about old readings and saying, well, there's distractions, there's this, there's that. It's like, what good are you doing to tell me that right now? I can't go back in time and change it. You want me to go back in time and change it? Like even with the person I was working with, like her kids coming in, I can't control that. You want me to go back? I can't control it. Either you want the reading or you don't. Like, they're taking time out of their life to help me. So it is what it is. Like, I just bounce off of people better when I do readings that way. So, that's just the way that I work. And maybe one day I won't have to do that, but that's just the way that I work.
Yeah.
We all work differently. I feel like having someone to bounce that energy off of and stuff, it helps me. But you know, we're all different. Like I always tell people, we're all different. We all work different, you know, in different ways. And that's, you know, everything is just a matter of perception.
Exactly. And, you know, your spiritual signs and symbols can be different. This is maybe for people that are a little more advanced and intuitively. You'll get different signs and symbols and, you know, write them down sometimes if you start to notice a pattern. Like I get certain words or certain photos or like images in my mind that, you know, I have to perceive, just like you, we have to perceive that information we're getting to relay back to our clients and to you guys. And that's where a lot of times spirit's never wrong. I'm just gonna say it, you know, come at me if y'all want to. Spirit's never wrong as long as you're getting your information from a divine source. We perceive it and interpret it wrong, in my personal opinion.
Yes. I completely agree. I tell people that all the time, like, they are never wrong. I can be wrong because I'm the human that's misperceiving what they're showing me, you know, or I'm misunderstanding the symbolism that they're showing me. And like Tracy's saying, even in readings, can't you be shown different versions or different time periods? Yes, you can. Like that's always tell people, like I can see somebody at any point in their life. Just because we haven't seen a picture of BK with a beard and mustache doesn't mean he's never grown facial hair in his life. Like guys grow 4 o'clock shadows, 5 o'clock shadows, you know. All I know is what I tell you
Yeah,
guys.
that only takes like a day or two for some men.
Yeah, I just have to watch how I word it because people will run with it and be like, oh no, it's Brett. Oh no, it's this guy. You know, and then you have all the sleuths out there. Everybody's saying, oh, he couldn't have done this by himself. I'm sorry, but how many serial killers do you know that take on multiple people by themselves? Especially with people sleeping. It's possible. It's
Yeah.
Like Ted Bundy did it. It's not impossible.
Yeah.
So
I can agree. It's crazy, you know, perception too, like, you know, being around people. This is about maybe being around positive people or negative people. If you're around a lot of toxicity, then you can't fully thrive in your environment because it generally people that are low vibrational, and I mean people that are intentionally doing it, not people going through stuff or anything, but being around that will bring your vibe down, which can change your perception because there is a collective consciousness. And, you know, we pick up on that collective consciousness, but the way people feel in this kind of divided line that seems to be coming in, it's almost like you have to pick a side between good and evil. This is just my perception of what's coming up. Like you have to choose, are you going to ascend? And this is a big thing, a big topic for astrology this year. You have to pick a side. Are you going to choose to ascend and go forward and move? Because we're going to start moving fast. All the planets went direct. So we're getting ready to just like shoot, take off. And I mean, are you going to stay behind and kind of do the same old patterns and your same old routines? Are you going to take care of your issues and move forward? Now, everybody has different issues. Everybody has different problems. It will take time. But I guarantee if you're ready to ride the wave, like I say, you can jump on the boogie board and you can just keep going right now. Things are going to change rapidly with, you know, our Aquarius thing going on. And as y'all may know, like me and Rochelle both have claircognizant abilities. So we both think fast, we both talk fast, but she's like extra fast because she's got like double or triple Aquarius or something.
I've got Aquarius Sun, Aquarius Rising, Aquarius Mercury. I don't know. I got a lot of Aquarius in mine. So I'm always that's why when we do topics like this, I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
Keep us straight. I do the same thing in my house. I'll start one thing and end up somewhere else.
I do that too. I think, you know, as we get older as women, you know, we tend to get a little tad of the ADHD, just a little touch.
No, I got more than a little touch.
I got somebody on my channel saying my mother and sister's mother-in-law died on 2/7 and my mother-in-law passed on 1/7. What's with the sevens? It can be anything. Numerology is like really, really important. There's a lot to numerology, and it might be just the day because I'm pretty sure we get to pick our day before we come here, right, Rochelle?
Yeah. We usually, from what I understand, we have about 3 exit points. So it does happen. Okay. It does have something to do with, you know, when we decide to exit, and there can be lots of different reasons for that. I'm not a numerologist, so I can't say. But we all have
Yeah.
timing. There's timing to everything. That's why I always tell people, like, there's timing to everything. There's timing for a case to be solved. There's timing for a person to be found. Like, I could go out literally and be standing right by a person that's lost and not find them because it's not that time for them to be found. So all these people that push for certain people to be found, there's no point for it, because they'll be found if they're going to be found when they're meant to be found. Plain and simple.
Exactly.
The case will be solved when it's meant to be solved. The person will be arrested when they're meant to be arrested. A person will pass when they're meant to pass. You know, and sometimes they will literally hold on until that time that they're supposed to pass.
Yeah. And it has something to do with, like, I just feel like it's a date of choice. And if they went back to back like that, that was in their contract to go together. So sending you a bunch of love and light, I believe, Lloyd Lama, I believe, for the passing of your family. I'm sorry to hear about that. Megan, squirrel. Yeah, squirrel.
Yeah, all the time in my life. People that follow me will know, and then they get upset because I talk too fast or I read too fast. I can't help it. Like, when that comes with gifts, it comes with the gifts, because as somebody that does what I do, we have to be able to process information really fast, relieve it really fast. Like, we're doing 500 things at once. There's a million things going on in our head at one time. So, you know, people just have to deal with it. You can always hit the slow down button on the
exactly
on the channel. You know, there's a slow down button there for a reason. So,
and depending on the guide that's helping me, because a lot of times, even when I do just general intuitive readings, most of the time I have a family member come in to help me with that information. But if it's one of my guides that come in, it depends on which guide is working with me at that point and how fast. It always comes in fast, but sometimes it's like a, you know, just, I don't want to compare it to anything, but just fast, and you can't slow it down.
And sometimes, like, even it depends on who you're communicating with, because there's been spirits that I've communicated with, because, you know, I channel best when I type, I feel, in my opinion. I've been doing it that way the longest. It's because I'm focused on one thing. I don't go all over the place. And so it's like I'm more focused doing that, and I auto-write really well. That's how I started my gifts. So that's just my strength. So sometimes, even when I'm connecting to someone, like, they will be talking so fast or bringing in information so fast that I can't keep up with my typing. I've had that happen before. Like, I'm literally like going like 80 miles a minute. And then there's other times where it's like the information's slow. So it just depends, you know, who you're connecting with and the vibration that they're at and how strong they are coming in. Because there's some that are strong, like really, really strong, and they will drain the heck out of you. And then there's some that are strong and you'll feel more energy with it. It's just different, because they're different beings. So
it's crazy. It's crazy how you perceive information in everyday life too. And excuse me, I wanted to kind of sneak this comment into, because one of the things that Spirit has wanted me just to kind of say and talk about, and I'll make it super brief, is how there's like competition in the spiritual community. And I personally think it's all based on perception and how people want to fight over, like in your situation, how it's pretty competitive and people are on cases and they're doing this, that, and the other, and saying, well, this is what I got and this is what I got. At the end of the day, too, over your clients and everything, and just in general, this is a lesson in life. Like, everything has its own divine timing. Everything has its own divine purpose. And basically, patience is a virtue, but at the same time, like, what's meant to come to you, especially for people that might be in the spiritual community watching this. I'm not saying I'm accusing anybody here. I'm just saying in general, like, you know, what's meant to come to you, clients and opportunities and all that, we do create that. But there's also like something that happens with like my clients. I look at our astrology charts sometimes, and my Vesta, which is my spiritual light, will be over one of their planetary bodies that indicates that I'm guiding them right now. They were always meant to cross paths, and everybody has opportunities with like that with everybody we meet in life. So having patience and understanding, and, you know, having the ability to put yourself in somebody else's shoes, and kind of get an idea of what they're thinking and what they're doing, can solve a lot of problems and a lot of drama. And that's really what we need right now in life, because I just feel like we're all behind screens, and this is the way that it's came. Like, even through text message, you can perceive a text message in a different way. And, you know, you may mean it one way, but it comes out another when somebody else reads it. It's the same thing. So I just kind of want to encourage everybody to spread as much love and light right now, because we really need it.
Yeah, we do. But, you know, like I always tell people, like it's a vibrational, like we're talking about vibration still. So when we're in a low vibration, again, we attract that same low vibrational people. Like if you're trying to get into like a relationship and say you've had all crappy men, until you work on your vibration and you self-love and you change that vibration, guess what? You're going to keep attracting those crappy men, because that's just the way it is. Like attracts like. If you attract these bad friends and you don't shift your vibration, you're going to keep attracting that. If you're on a low vibration and you're doing, you know, substances, you're going to stay in a low vibration and you're going to attract those dark entities to you. If you have a lot of emotional things and psychological things that you're not dealing with, you can also attract that because you're on a low vibration. So once you get into a high vibration, again, you start to attract people that are on your vibration. You start to attract things that are on your vibration. You're able to attract money more. You're able to attract opportunities more. That's why I'm always telling people, because I can literally feel when someone's on a low vibration and when they're on a high vibration. And a lot of times when they're struggling in life, they're on a low vibration. And then they start saying like, you know, oh, my life sucks. Oh, my life's so bad. And then they stay on that low vibration instead of starting to kind of shift their mindset, because we can literally create with our mindset. So I do it all the time. Like I will start envisioning things and then it'll happen. Like my car, I started envisioning my car. I started asking for my car. I ended up with my car. Like we can manifest things. I've seen it in my everyday life. Like, you know, the manifesting meditations, I'll put one on. I haven't done this in a while. I actually need to, but I'll put one on, and then the next day or a few days later, I'll be able to vibrate. You know, I'll be able to attract stuff. So, you know, we can't attract things when we're on the low vibration. And then again, we also will attract that same thing. So like if you've ever had like abusive men or men that are bad for you, and you continue to try to look for a relationship without healing yourself and raising your vibration, guess what? You're going to end up in the same kind of relationship you were just in. Like you literally have to shift that and give it time and work on yourself and do self-love and not look for it, because whatever is meant for you will never pass you by. That includes relationships. That includes, I mean, it's not like, you know, Santa Claus is going to drop a man or a person for you on your doorstep, but you'll attract them in some way, shape, or form through some, you know, if you're meant to, when you're meant to. And, you know, if that's what you're meant to have. So, and that's with anything, whatever's meant for you, if it's a job, if it's a place to live, whatever that may be, it won't pass you by. But that doesn't mean that we can't see things for ourselves and envision things for ourselves, because we can literally envision things for ourselves. Like I envisioned, I hated where I lived. I was in a really low vibration where I used to live, but once I moved, everything shifted for me and I wanted to move. So I manifested the move. I didn't know it was going to be in Arizona, but that was one place where my energy fits the best, was like Arizona and Oregon, I think. Those two places. And there's such a different feeling of energy.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
When things don't work out, it's because they're not meant to work out. When people don't work out, it's because they're not meant to work out. When a relationship leaves, it's because it's supposed to leave. Like I always tell my son, especially now with all this stuff he's got going on with friends and stuff, like rejection is protection and redirection. And no matter how much you try to push something, it will push away if it's not meant for you, if you're not supposed to be at that. So
absolutely. People come in for a reason and people come in for a season.
Yep. Or a lifetime, you know?
Yeah.
And I've had to remind myself of that with certain friends that I've lost as well, you know?
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. So right before I went through my big spiritual awakening, I did the whole dark night of the soul thing. I lost a lot of actually lost my relationship. I lost a lot of my friends that I knew. I know now why, because the person that I am now, they could not accept. They could not accept what I do. They would probably think I'm full of crap and all this stuff. And I mean, of course, we always face adversity every day online for people that don't believe, but the people in my life, like, they would not believe me. They would not, even when like I was picking up intuitive information, like they still thought I was crazy, even though it was right. And, I'm just glad that I had them in my life, but I'm also glad that I've been able to move past that and pick up some awesome friends. Mostly I have like a couple good friends here, but most of my friends now are like online, like, in the community. And I believe that spirit brought us together. The people that are in my lives now, even the people that are, some of the people in my chat, especially, I think that God brought us together, just like when I met Rochelle, I contacted her or something, and I was like,
I
look,
don't even
spirit.
remember.
Oh, yeah.
I don't
So
even
here,
remember how we met. I don't
we'll tell
remember
the
how we met,
story
but
then.
I know that I send you people that need help with things like I can see them, but I don't know how to get rid of them. So that's where you come in. So then we team up that way.
Yes,
So that's why
absolutely.
that happened, because that didn't happen before I met you. So
That's so
I didn't
cool.
have those experiences. It was like after I met you, then I started having that. So then I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna send you to Chasity. She'll help you get rid of it. So you can tell the story, because I don't remember. I honestly, I don't.
I love all my girls in the chat too. Mwah. They're telling me they love me. I love y'all too. And even Rochelle's viewers, I've been a part of the community, and y'all are so friggin' awesome. Like, we love you guys.
Yeah, I have the best community besides a
Gosh.
few that I just want to kick in the butt sometimes. But yeah, we
That
have
you really do.
Yeah,
So the way we
it's a
met,
vibration thing.
yeah, it is a vibration thing. You're right. And I can't remember. I found your lives. I found you online or whatever. And somehow we ended up talking. I don't remember how, but I know this was like when you had just started this second channel. You had like 2,500 or 3,000 subs maybe. And you were like, I've got to figure out how to do this. You were doing calls back then for the company or whatever. Yeah.
Hate lines. I hate psychic lines, guys.
And you're like, you were talking about doing your lives and stuff and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, look, I ain't got a lot of money, but Spirit's telling me to help you right now. Spirit's telling me to get you this table that you got right now to be able to do your lives on, because you wanted to kind of switch it up, and all this stuff in the background here you had started to talk about and wanted to develop, and you got it, you got it going on, and you got it all fixed up. And I helped you out with that table, and then we started to get to know each other, but Spirit guided me to you, and I knew that. And I normally don't reach out to people online like this. I'm not really like that, but for some reason I did you, and now look at us.
Yeah. And it's weird because, like, I don't know if any of you guys listen to like the tarot readings on YouTube. Like, I have certain ones that I follow, and they're really, really like bang on for me. A lot of them will say like you're teaming up with someone, and Spirit told me to start doing this with you for some reason. But it kind of started back in the day when we decided to do that other one that we did. The demonology or whatever we talked about before.
Yeah, our last live. And it's cool because it's like different intuitive people that I know, we all kind of like feed off of each other with information and abilities. Like, if I'm watching you and you're doing a case, I might start picking up stuff too. It's just really crazy. And I think that it's very helpful because so many people, and the situations where you get clients, sometimes it's very helpful because so many people have paranormal activity, and it's on the rise. It's not stopping because the veil is thinning. Like, it is thinning, and it's because of the intentions and everything we're putting in it. They're able to come more because they're being invited more. People don't have the same boundaries as they used to, and I think that's Spirit's way. When you start to see them, that means the case is serious, is something real. So I always listen to you, and generally me and you see the same things, and then I just go do my routine thing, and it works out really good, and most of the time we're able to get some type of conclusion.
Yeah, and I mean, we even had to do that for myself a couple times, and I even had to because I've worked nonstop for a year. Like, I only have a day off here and there, and it's a lot for me because I've never done that many readings. I've never put this much into it, and I didn't think I was going to survive. Like, when I saw my schedule and the way I had done it, I told Lizzie, I said, I don't know how I'm going to make this, dude. Like, I literally don't know how I'm going to make it through the year. And I made it through the year, but it wasn't without like exhaustion and at a point where I was done and tired and I didn't want to do readings anymore. And I had to literally reconnect myself. We talked about that. I had to literally raise my vibration, because I had gotten in a low vibration. I had to literally raise my vibration back up and reconnect back to spirit and remembered why I do what I do. So
Exactly.
then sometimes it helps me whenever people remind me of that, like, you helped me so much, or, you know, you turn me from a skeptic to a believer, then that starts making me be like, okay, well, now I remember my purpose. But everything gets mundane, no matter how much you love it, no matter how much you like doing it. Sometimes we have to remember why we're doing it, you know. And I just sometimes it does get like so heavy and so draining that it's like it's hard to want to do it sometimes, you know. It's like I need a real vacation.
Right.
Like, it would be nice if I could just like have like a week of like nothing. But you know, catching up on things, because like I can't even catch up on anything in my house. It's so bad.
It happens. And, you know, you've got a lot of children there. Okay. There's tons of children at your house that need your assistance. Your fur
All of them are being
babies.
good right now, surprisingly. They're all being
I
good right
know.
now.
Yeah, it's important at anybody, like what Rochelle was just referring to, like you don't have to be a psychic to clear out your energy field and ground yourself. To ground yourself, no matter what you're doing, they say you want to sit up and put your feet on the ground, and that's fine. But if you're not physically able to do that, some people do have disabilities. Some people, like for me, sometimes my back gives me a fit. I'm not good with sitting up for a long time with my scoliosis and degenerative disc. So I ground myself laying down, and I just send that cord, or a lot of people use roots from the base of my tailbone, which is my root chakra. I send it way deep down into the ground. I let all my problems and energy and worries go down, and then I take it time and pull it back up, because Mother Earth transmutes that energy for us, grounds you, and then your space. Even if you don't do this type of work, you want to keep your space clear and aired out, and burn white candles or incense. You don't have to go full sage or anything like that, but some people prefer to do that. It's important to keep your space clear, because if you do have more of an intuitive ability, and it's in people in your house like that have intuitive gifts, it's important to keep, you know, everything clear, because the vibrations can interfere with your thoughts, and then you start to get depressed and you don't know why, and it can just be stuck energy. Yes.
It's not clear here right now.
Yes, and you can break down the energy grids in your home, which is a whole thing. And if you connect a lot, like me and Rochelle, we have to like be mindful of that, because you know, you pull in a lot of people, you leave that energy imprint continuously, and it's a conscious thing you have to be aware of.
Yeah. And you have to remember too that like when we're doing readings, like you're giving us permission to tap into your energy. So not only are we feeling our stuff, spirit, whatever, we're also feeling your energy. We're tapping into your energy. So
Exactly.
I mean, we have to, like, I have a grounding mat I need to put on my bed, and I still haven't done that. Somebody graciously sent me a grounding mat. I really want to try it and see, because I always forget to ground. Honestly, I do.
What is that? Please explain.
Down air. It does. I think it does like electrical impulses or something that's supposed to help ground you. I had put it on my list for Amazon. Someone sent it to me. Thank you so much. I think it was for like Christmas. And I still haven't opened it and put it on my bed, because I'm behind on my whole life. But I really want to try it and see if it helps like my energy level, because I'm like really bad at grounding, and I think that's my air, because I'm air. I'm so airy. So airheaded. I'm always up there.
Yeah, I'm a Gemini sun, and me and you both are air, but then I have water on the back end. So I'm a Cancer moon, Cancer rising. So that's water. That's why I get all kinds of craziness coming from every direction. But the air is helpful.
My sun, my moon, my rising are all air.
I know, and that's what makes it so hard for you to ground. For sure. So that's helpful though. And that's just the important part. And I mean, I grounded briefly before this, because I was making a little intro and trying to do my hair and my makeup. And I finally had like 5 minutes just to go, whew, and then all the stress and everything just sunk away. It really does help. And for people that don't ground often, or it's very important to understand that it might not be the way you think or it should feel. You can know that you grounded. You can feel in your body that you grounded. You can feel in your emotions that you grounded, or you can visually see that you grounded. So it can come in all kinds of different ways and perceptions. But yeah, it's a good topic.
This question. So if people that are clairvoyant, I do know this, people that are clairvoyant do have vivid dreams, and usually in color. That's the one thing I do know about clairvoyance, or if they have some clairvoyance. I keep feeling like I got some in my glasses I can't see. So my my dreams are sometimes very vivid, sometimes very weird. But I've always had like very vivid and very weird dreams, and I've gotten to, like, since I've been a medium, I'll do readings in my dreams. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know. I have to ask you about that, because does that mean I'm like working on another plane or another time period, or what? Because like
Yes.
I will literally be sitting with people giving them readings, and they will be validating their what is coming through for their loved one. It's the weirdest freaking thing.
It's people that can't get to you, that really want to get to you, that are intuitive enough to be, or conscious enough to be able to do it. You are working on a different realm. Like I literally just did that last night for a possession.
But
I
I
just
do it
pull
for
up.
people and give readings to them with their loved ones. Like there was
Hmm.
like they're emotional in the readings. Like it's crazy. It's literally like I'm sitting with someone and giving them real readings, and I'm channeling. I'm literally channeling the spirit, and they're validating. It's the weirdest thing ever. And then
He's like, are
sometimes
you
like
sitting at a
remote
table? Do you see
location.
like a table in front of you and they're on the other
No,
side or something?
I'm just sitting with them, or they're just there. The last one that I remember, it was a male and a female, and I was connecting to someone for them. I don't remember who it was now, but like literally they were validating all the information that was coming in, like I was giving them a real reading. It's
I think,
it's and it is so weird, and that happens sometimes. Like I'll literally work in my sleep.
yes, I do too. So it's common. Like it is common. Some other of my psychic folks, they say the same thing. Like it's
And
something that's common.
I feel like I'm giving better readings in my sleep than I am.
Yeah, it's crazy. And you're just in that level of pure subconsciousness. So that's why, I mean, you're just enveloped in what would, in a good way, in the dark. Your subconscious, the womb, the moon, that's all subconscious. And then the sun and just the lightness and everything, the masculine, the feminine. And, our subconscious is our intuition. That's where we pull it from. And yeah, I think you are, because I feel like sometimes, and this is just intuitively, I'm feeling this way. I feel like sometimes you are doing readings for people that are living, but I also feel like you're doing readings for people that have passed away sometimes too, that need that healing to be able to move on to the light. That's what Spirit just said. So,
It's so weird. I've always wondered like what that was about, because it didn't start until like I don't know, a couple years ago. But
hmm,
like every so often I'll have like dreams where I'm just giving readings and dreams. And then there's
yeah,
been a couple times where I've dreamed of locations, but they'll show me on a map, and they'll like Felicia, that was the strongest one that I can remember, where it was like I was being shown on a map for about 5 hours so I wouldn't forget it. And I was
mm,
given the name Windsor. I think it was Windsor. It's Windsor or Waverly. I think it was Windsor. And so when I went and looked up, I looked up Windsor in Texas, which where she was, and or where this happened was Texas, and it was right next to Sam Houston National Forest. And so I asked the family, I said, well, does this area make sense? And she said, well, he did look at what the largest national forest was, and when you look up what's the largest national forest in Texas, it comes up Sam Houston. So Spirit literally showed me that location, and I told them, but they didn't do anything with it. She was found in Sam Houston later on, but by someone randomly. But still, it was like they didn't take the information, you know, that I gave them. There's a lot of times that I'll get directions, and if people don't follow it, like recently, there was
yeah,
one where I kept telling them, hey, they're in this one location and they didn't leave the park and blah blah blah. And if you follow the directions that I'm giving you, like, because I'll see it like I'm there. So it's like Spirit will take me, like they took me on a road, it split paths. So I said, he's not on the path that everybody thought he was, he's on the other one, he's within 5 miles and there's a bunch of rocks. And like I explained it, no one did anything, but that's where he
yeah,
was found. But it's like if they I feel like if they would have followed the directions and went into the reading and like wrote it out and been like, okay, this is how we need to go look, that they probably would have ran across him at some point,
yeah.
because it was very specific. That doesn't happen all the time, you know.
No.
Um, there's some cases where I can't get a location for the life of me. There's sometimes I'll dream of them, You know, and then there's sometimes it's very vivid like that, where it's like, I tried to leave that park, that national park, and that's the private case that just happened, but I tried to leave that national park and I couldn't leave it. Like spirit, like, because remote viewing, like I kept trying to leave it and I couldn't leave it.
See it?
Yeah, no one listens to me. Yeah, I know. That's, yeah.
I'm making a shirt out of that. I've decided.
It gets frustrated. It gets frustrating because people come to readings, but then you give them the information and they don't take the information. So that's where I get frustrated, you know, a little bit. But
yeah, it's tough. It's tough because for me, you know, that's okay. What's a discussion? We're having a discussion, which I figured here soon we can kind of, after we wrap this up, you want to open up a couple questions from the audience on both ends?
I'm trying to read it. I never had black and white dreams, but recently I had premonition dream. Yeah. So I mean, we all tap into that kind of stuff. Yeah, as far as deceased loved ones, they can. If it seems real and you remember it and it's very, very vivid and you have the emotions, then that's a visitation. We can dream of them and it not be a visitation, but when it feels real, it feels like you wake up, you remember it, you have the emotions, and that's a visitation. So yes, they can.
Yeah. Sorry if my head's getting really close. It's because I'm either trying to read here, but I realized I can read it there too. So I'm not trying to freak nobody out.
I know. Speaking of shirts, like I have so many ideas for shirts, but my touchscreen was irritating me, so I quit. But that's something I want to work on too. I've got a lot of good ideas for them. Constantly thinking shirts.
I've got 2 right now for sure that I know I'm going to do, but I've got to I'm going to redesign the whole "No One Listens to Me" because I made it in like 5 seconds to prove a point to my fiance because he's like, I can make it faster than you. I'm like, I've got the power of Canva. Whoa. So, but yeah,
I already have shirts, but I wanted to add some more. I don't really push them that much, but
yeah,
I always get the ideas.
I just write it down. I write all my stuff down in a book and I never see it again.
Yeah. Well, Aquarius, we're the visionaries, so we're always having ideas. It's just if a lot of times we act on them, sometimes we don't. Like I've got tons of ideas.
I'm the same. I have all of my stuff. Oh, sorry. It's a delay. I'm still getting used to that. But basically, I have all these ideas and all this stuff, and I'll write it down in a notebook or I'll write it down in my documents. And I've got like content for days that I can do, and then I start to do it again, and I have to remind myself to go back and look because I don't know. I think it's the air sign too. In general, we just constantly are thinking about stuff, and then I need to get to some of this content I got planned for sure. So I can relate to what I'm saying.
We both do. I mean, we're just it's hard to be motivated sometimes, like when we're, and it's not even that we're in a low vibration, it's just we're tired from the energetic work, because it's energetic work. So it's a different kind of tired than like I go out and I go for a walk, you know, it's an energy type drain. Exactly. And I even, I have somebody that I met when I did Idaho for, and she offered to do healings on me. So she even does healings on me sometimes and pulls stuff out of my energy and all that. And that's who I was trying to send you to. But so I have to have that sometimes because when she first did it, she said I was a mess.
Yeah, I need to do it. I do it on myself, but it's not the same.
Yeah, but we always have to clear out our energy in some one way, shape, or form when doing this work. And actually, I used to be all into like all that stuff, and then I got really kind of lazy and lax about it.
Right. Sorry, I'm about to shut the whole stream down with finger fudge and everything. I got a question. It's talking about, it's Lloyd Lama again. It says, my brother-in-law had a dream yesterday when his mother passed, and she was in his dream talking to him about her death. Yeah, that does happen. It sounds like you have a very intuitive family in general. I think you come from a long line of intuitives, and that's, as tough as that is, that's super special. And she'll probably be back at some point to visit. For sure. You're going to feel her energy. It's a common thing, but more common among people that are intuitively gifted, in my opinion.
And like, even though I'm a medium, I don't have a whole lot of dreams or things with my loved ones. I did when they first passed, and I have times where like it'll go like a couple years and then I'll have something, But
I smelt
all
my nanny. I know it sounds weird, but she passed through yesterday, I think, in my house. I was making coffee and I smelt her essence in the kitchen with me. I'm like, well, Nanny's here. And there was some friends that were visiting that hadn't come by in a while. And everybody in the house, except for the children that hadn't been born at that point, was there at her passing time. They were there with her when she passed. So I thought that was pretty cool. Because, being a medium, we don't always pick up. So they say a medium can't read for themselves. I disagree. Personally, for me, I use my abilities to help me make better decisions. But do I see everything that's coming in my life? Absolutely not. But I am blessed with discernment. And there is a difference between being intuitive and having discernment. In my opinion, discernment is key to make choices about your life. Because, a lot of people are like, I can't read myself. I do readings for myself all the time, and they're fairly accurate with cards and stuff, or even if I want to intuitively bring in information. But when it comes to past relatives, it's not that easy, especially if you have an emotional block. Because Rochelle did a past relatives reading for me with my great grandmother that half raised me. That was super important to me. My grandma, my nanny, I could feel her a lot, but my great grandma, I could not. And Rochelle gave me some peace there, and she inspired me to do past relative readings. Again, that's not my big specialty. Rochelle's super great at it, but I focus more on intuitive development and spiritual guidance and paranormal help. So, and then just general reading and stuff. But it's very interesting, and you still get experiences, but not somebody else would for you with past relatives.
Yeah. I mean, I don't, because I know so much about my loved ones. So it's I've auto wrote them before, but the way that I hear, it's my own thoughts. So knowing so much about them, it's really hard to tell, so I don't have that validation. So that's why it's hard for me to do it,
I gotta do your reading.
Girl, I don't even have the money to pay you. Don't even worry about it.
You don't have to pay me. I need the practice anyways.
I can do it later. But with my husband, for some reason, it was really easy. My grandparents, not so much. And I think that's just that twin flame connection and opening up and stuff. So it was really easy to auto write him and stuff like that. But, I do have, nobody knows, I do have a book on Amazon.
Oh yeah.
I wrote to try to help people, and everybody seems to love it. So It is called R&R Love, a Twin Flame Story. If anybody wants to check that out, but it is channeled basically, and it's about my my experience with how I got my gifts, my loss, twin flame situation. So I wrote it to kind of help people and to kind of prove that on the other side the other side exists. So
and it's 11/11, and I'm trying to remember because I have it in my cart.
What
the price? I think it's 11/11. Yeah.
Yeah, for the hard copy. Some people just like the digital, but we bounce. Yeah, we bounce. We're planning on doing this every other week or something like that.
Yeah, for now, every other week. That way, both of us don't get overwhelmed with our airhead asses. Elsie, lady crew member, I'm live. And then also, too, I do Lights at Midnight one week, and then I do this the next. So that's going to help me balance out because the podcast with the recording and the video, and we do all the editing, and Emily does editing. Me and her both we probably tacked in 25 to 30 hours between us last weekend. So it can be fairly intense. So definitely, guys, if you're interested in the spooky stuff and psychic abilities, go check out my Lights at Midnight podcast. You can listen to the first season on YouTube, but we're video recording season 2. And then again, I'm getting started on my channel. So I'll be bringing in just kind of content, different questions and things that I hear along the way. It'll be shorter form content. And then these lives with Rochelle. So I'm super excited. I really am. I'm ready to get going.
So the link tree is all my links right there. So
thank you.
The book is in that link as well. But I just decided to put everything under one link. So my Facebook, Facebook group, the book, my TikTok, I think everything's on that link. So typical.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm getting ready. I'm going to set some mods real quick while we finish up here. So do you want to move into some questions real fast before we...
Do you have anything else we want to discuss?
I can't think of anything else at the time. I think we'll be a little more not necessarily formatted, but I'm going to try, because Rochelle, she just rolls with it, but I'm the nerdy one. I like to have talking points, and I ran out of time today, so I feel like we've done pretty good, actually.
Well, because I go all over the place, so it'd do me any good to, you know, I'm not one that can like sit down, and I don't have the ideas to be like, okay, I want to talk about this, like this and this, because like even like I'd like to make little short videos of things that I teach, but it's like I can't even think of what I want to teach, you know. So, and I've had this idea about reincarnated pets and stuff for like the past freaking 2 weeks, and I still haven't made a video on it. So
I get it. I get it, because I start to do things like I'll even have them half recorded, and I'm like, this is trash, and I'll just stop doing it. It's awful. But I mean, I have some things recorded. I have a reaction video coming up for 305 Paranormal that I've already done it, but my DA tail didn't screen record it properly, so I forgot to turn it landscape in time for the screen recording, and now that it's all messed up. So if Jen, you see this, I promise it's coming. I've got a couple more reaction videos coming, and then a lot more teaching stuff, because I do a lot of paranormal stuff, but I will do that on my channel, but I do that already at Lights at Midnight. So I've covered so much there, but I'm bringing that over. But I want to do like teaching stuff and reactions with a mix of paranormal. I still am trying to narrow it all down. It's tough. It really is.
Well, I think that you know, also if people give us ideas about what they want to learn about and talk about, like we can use that too, because I don't.
Yeah, that's a great thing. You actually know so much. Yeah, you actually, I thought about that earlier, and then you bring it up. There's a reason. Spirit wants you guys to leave us messages. If y'all can do that now, that's cool, and we can go back and check. But if you want to leave us messages in the comment section under our live, not the live chat, but the comment section in the video, like once we've ended, if you can think of a question, and then me and Rochelle can kind of write it down, I'll document it down for us, and then we can start bringing some of that to you guys, the ones that we think is really
like
good.
A topic, or like a topic.
Yeah,
what our
that's a
lives
good.
Because this, where like Spirit said to do this, because I'm trying to help her grow. We're both growing, and we're both learning, and you know, like I said, when people what is the word I'm trying to think of? Collaborate. When people collaborate, you know, it's for a reason, and Spirit's been saying a while, I'm going to collaborate, and I'm like thinking like, who the hell am I going to collaborate with? And then it was like, because it kept coming in those readings that I watched, like, I'm going to collaborate, and I'm like, who am I going to collaborate with? I don't really, you know anybody. Like, I'm very particular on who I watch and who I'm with in the spiritual community. Like, there's some people I just can't handle. So I'm very to myself, and I try to stay away from drama. And so I have to be like on the same vibe. We have to have like the same beliefs. And then all of a sudden it was like, I don't know, the idea came to like bring Chasity in and you know, team up with her. It's not the first time we've done it. We've done it before, and it worked out really well, and everybody liked it. But I think my schedule had to slow down. My schedule's going to slow down a lot in March. I actually booked out 2 weeks to where I don't have any readings, so I can just kind of focus on YouTube and the stuff I want to focus on. And that gives me a break, you know, because I do, as much as I love doing readings for people and stuff, I just need that. Like, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to be doing, because I'll still have my groups and I'll probably still do lives and stuff. But as far as like readings every single day, I just need a break. We don't use the word dead here. There is no such thing as death. But yes, I speak to the deceased or people on the other side. Quit messing with the tree.
And she's fantastic at it. And I want to say publicly now, thank you so much for allowing me to do this with you, because, you know, you're right. I feel Spirit brought us together for a reason. We have a good vibe. Like, we get along very well, and we see eye to eye on a lot of things, especially spiritually. And I couldn't be more grateful for the opportunity to be right here. So thank you. And I want to shout out somebody really fast. Dead
What's that
Serious
word?
Investigations. Hello. He's a buddy of mine. He's a great investigator, and he's a haunted objects collector. And he's actually coming up in one of my videos. I have a series planned. I probably just gave that series away based on what I said, but he's going to be featured on my channel very soon.
I got fake haunted objects.
Yeah, I told you.
Damn it. I really wanted haunted dolls.
I was like, no, not right now, no. And it's like sitting next to your head. I was all freaked and stuff. And I'm like, look, I didn't believe it because
They were so cool though.
They are cool, but I was like, oh my God, I freaked out a little bit, just a little bit. And then I was cool with it. It's fine. It's fine.
I don't know what you mean, like, controls the spirits. Nobody controls spirits.
Well, there's in certain practices and beliefs, there are spirits that are said to be controlled, but generally when you use the word control, you're referring to the darker side of things. And that's where my, I guess, area expertise comes in. I'm not, well, I say expert, nobody's an expert at this because, I mean, I'm not saying that, but what I'm good at is the paranormal stuff. And when you start talking about controlling things, people get into the form of controlling spirits like demons and stuff. But as far as anything in the light, you have no control over. God has control over all that. I guess you say source, God, whatever you want to say.
Yeah, but they're not controlled. They're just there living a beautiful life on the other side with love and harmony. There's no humanity to control,
Right.
Humanity is what makes things negative. Like, there's all love and light on the other side. Like, it's just harmony. Like, there's no reason to control anything. They're just there. They're just living their best afterlife. That's
Yeah.
it. Like,
I see the comment now. It says, then who or what controls the spirits? I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's certain practices and beliefs, but at the end of the day, I don't really think you have full control. Now, we have the power over spirits. Like, if you have a spirit bothering you, you have the power over that spirit because we're first of all living and, calling on divine assistance to help with that too. So that's a long story, but that's a general overview.
Well, and there's this because there's all different beings. There's God, there's Jesus, there's Buddha. Like, it's all energies. That's it.
Yeah. And the thing about God is, like, God's not a man or a woman. God, to me, and this is just my opinion, this is my truth. So I don't try to put I tell people my truth, but I don't expect you to believe my truth. God is like the source energy, the creator. It is both. It's energy, it's vibration, it's the creator, and it's too massive to fit inside of flesh. People say they see him that way sometimes, and that's fine because spirit will present itself to you the way it wants you to see it. But then positive, benevolent beings do that. But then you also have to think about the flip side of that too. So that's where you have to be careful when you're doing this.
Yeah, well, I mean, and I've seen Jesus, like he shows himself, but they're just beings of light, like I'll see spirit how you would see them, even though they're not that age on the other side. They always show us how they would be in life, or how they were when we remember them, or how we relate to them. So, we're all one. God is within all of us. It's kind of like that. Like, we're all energy. Everything's energy, plain and simple. Everything's energy. So, when I talk about energy on my channel and not liking someone's energy, it's for a reason. Because everything's energy, plain and simple. Not if I don't like somebody's vibration, it's for a reason. I had somebody tell me to get back on Earth, but it's like, we come from the other side. We're beings. Like, Earth isn't even real. So, it's all energy.
And some people refer to that as the matrix. And that's cool. If you want to call it the matrix of Earth, you can think about it like that. That's the cool thing about perception, is we're not meant to believe the same things. And everybody has a different path and soul purpose, because there's other people out there that resonate with your truth, especially if you're meant to be a spiritual guidance teacher or to help in the spiritual community. There'll be people that resonate with me. There'll be people that resonate with Shell. Everybody has a different perspective, and you're able to actually get the message out even better the way that you're meant to if everybody's different. Because if the world was the same, then everybody was the same. It'd be a really boring place, and we would never be able to ride that wave of vibration and frequency. You would never be able to hit the lows to learn, or the highs to experience joy, and then we strive for that neutral area, and that's cool. but we're never going to be completely neutral. The only time that you should consider that is like in your reactions to how other people treat you or their actions. That's when you want to stay more neutral and try to, you know, not get tied up in their perception, because that's when it can bring you down too. And sometimes it's life changing things. Once we start thinking in terms of vibration, frequency, and duality and all that kind of stuff, once you start thinking into those terms about life and stuff, things start making a lot more sense. And you know, it sounds all kind of like left field, right? But it's true. And one thing that spirits really said to me too, I want to say, I know before we get off here, and I'm going to say it now because it fits perfect. One thing about our body, and then see, I'm going to try, I've been trying to figure out how to say this. Like when we're younger and before we, you know, I guess you could say get into our intuitive paths and stuff, our thoughts, the way we think, they come from our brain, right? Hopefully I say this right. They come from inside, internally of us. The difference between being open to, I guess, the collective consciousness and stuff for me is when your thoughts start extending outside of your flesh and you literally start to fill up your energetic space and your energetic being, because our energy extends outside of our body and so does our thoughts. That's the way that I'm able, the easiest way I can explain to be able to remote view and see things that I should never be able to see, like with my own, like without my own eyes or stuff. When you start thinking outside of your flesh and start thinking big is when you start to kind of think in terms of frequency and vibration and energy and stuff. Does that make
We're
sense?
not stuck in that human, yeah, because a lot of people are stuck in the human thought and the human being, and
The
we're
3D.
not. 3D. Yes, we're a lot of people are stuck in the 3D, and that's where we need to rise above and raise our perception. That's why spirit has a different perception than we do. Like they have a perception of love, non-judgment, blah blah blah. So we have to try to raise ourselves to that point where we're non-judgmental. Like we have love, like we have an understanding, and we're not, you know, stuck in this human mentality or human, like a lot of people are stuck like in the human thoughts and the 3D, like you said, a lot of people are stuck there.
Yeah. And that's where you stay in that lower vibration. And some people function well at that, and you might not be meant to rise above that. But the question here is, how do I raise the energy in my home and push all the negativity out? Is so draining, and I'm just constantly struggling. Well, first and foremost, there's different ways that you can do that. Definitely when it comes time to get a little warmer, you can open up your windows, but it's all about your spiritual routines and practices. And it doesn't have to be labeled that. It's whatever you want to label it. It can just be your morning routine. You want to wake up, you might have incense. You want to light an incense, let it burn and say, and put the intentions into that incense, or even a white tea light candle, and say, this is going to help clear out the energy. You have the ability as yourself to clear out that energy, but sometimes we need tools. It's our intentions that clear the space. So even when we use things like sage or Palo Santo, you can clear your house out, but it's that intention that you put into it. Like I cleared my aura with a little piece of sage tonight before we got started. I know that that's what helps me, and I did it, and I felt a lot better because I was tired, and we were both talking about how the new moons kind of crept up on us. But you can clear your house with sage, Palo Santo. You can light candles. You can wear stones like so this is like the trinity of stones for me. You can even hold stones. Let me see if I can grab one really fast. If I can, I'll just use this. So I've got clear quartz, black tourmaline, and amethyst, and that's great to kind of like work all together to clear out your energy. Black tourmaline, you can even take, sometimes it's our energy that's cluttering the house, so you can even like take a black tourmaline stone and put it on your third eye and lay flat, and some people feel energy of these stones, some people don't, but you can actually feel it pulling out, like the foggy headed. I feel like maybe you're kind of foggy headed too. The name went away, but I think it just, the stuck energy in your house can be transmuted out by clearing your energy field and then your house's energy field.
Yeah, and you know, like showers, salt baths, all those kind of things. I have a salt spray right here, the salt, and then it has essences in it. Whichever essence that you feel would work best for you, those are good to spray yourself with. You know, raising your vibration, like I always tell people, dance. Put on your favorite music and dance. If you got a drum, play a drum. You know, go outside and ground, go hug a tree. Like that's to clear out your energy, clear your chakras. all of that kind of stuff. Do things that you love and your passion. Anything that makes you happy, put on a funny movie,
Yeah.
or a funny show. Like anything that makes you laugh, anything that makes you happy, that'll raise your vibration, and you clearing out your energy in your house is great. I can't use a lot of sage and stuff because of my birds, but it's not gonna clear like negative spirits. Like that's another thing too. Is like everybody says, "Oh, wave sage and you're gonna get rid of this spirit." That's not how it works.
Yeah, what that does, yeah, but it also helps so when I teach people about sage, and I make that determination based on each case on whether or not I want them to use it, but that is a practice. So like when you're talking about negative spirits and stuff, I do that as a setting boundaries, because a lot of people don't have boundaries set currently in their life. So the sage and the act of doing it is setting a spiritual and physical, like intentional boundary too, but it's not going to be like poof, be gone. It's not going to be like you're gone. Some negative energy in general, it will dispel. But when you're dealing with something that's darker and more malevolent, and even that sometimes is human spirits that stayed behind, you even have descended human spirits. Again, I'll go on a tangent on that. I'm not going to tonight. But you have descended human spirits that kind of almost demonize themselves. They're not demons, but they get like really nasty, and they'll attach to people like me and Rochelle that have a lot of light. So if you're open to stuff like that, it's important to set your boundaries and get your spiritual routine and practices in order to live a better life, because a lot of empaths and clairsentients, or anybody that's really intuitive, you're going to absorb all that. So you have to get that together. There's tons of information online. You can find it, pretty much anywhere, but be careful where you get your information from too. You definitely want to use your discernment there. And I mean that with all loving kindness words.
Well, and the other thing too is like when you have fear and stuff, like they attach to that too, because when you have fear, you're on a low vibration. Like I'm more like, get the hell out of my house. Like it doesn't, like spirit doesn't scare me. And I think that's another thing too. Like if anybody's going to do this work, like they can't be scared of spirit. Like, because I don't know, they just don't scare me for some reason. I'm just not scared of them. But of course, I don't see them with my eyes. I see them in my brain, but and
there's some people that do experience them with their eyes, and I do sometimes. I don't do it all the time. I see them more in my third eye, but I do see things with my eyes sometimes, and it is a little startling. I think I was more scared at first, like before I ever knew I was going to do this work. Now I'm just like, get out. I've got to the point, not everything. I need to be take my ego out of it, but that's how it feels sometimes. Like sometimes it's literally like, go away. And it's good. And having that stance and stuff, you don't want to be in a butthole, though. You don't want to be super angry, because sometimes things are a little stronger than we may anticipate, but you definitely want to be firm, stand your ground, set your boundaries. Fear has a lot to do with it. And then a lot of times people that have experiences that are scary or paranormal, you're generally intuitive yourself. And you have to learn how to manage that. So.
I mean, prayer. So this is kind of a deep question. So of course there's a creator. There's a creator of all things, and there's different energies on the other side. Like I said, Jesus, Buddha, everybody that has like any kind of belief, they probably are on the other side, whether what you believe in it or not. Like it's a mix of belief. It's not just one thing. There's not just one way, like she was saying. It's a mix of beliefs. But so like if people believe in Buddha is an actual energy on the other side, in my opinion. Jesus, he's the ascended masters, because we have guides, we have ascended masters that are above the guides, and then we have the Christ consciousness. It gets kind of deep. It gets kind of, and this is just our opinions. And no, they don't want to be worshipped, but we can pray. There's nothing wrong with praying. Prayers actually are like a way of manifesting, and they're a way of putting that energy out of what you want and speaking. Our words are very, very strong, and they're very powerful. Our words are. So when we're speaking things into existence and putting that love energy into it, that's basically, we're manifesting it. But spirit can help from the other side, but it's not that they want to be prayed to. It's not like that, in my opinion. And they don't want to be worshipped. It's not like that. There's not one higher above the other. We're all one in the grand scheme of things, and especially on the other side. Like we're all one.
Right. And what I'm being told right now by spirit is replace the word worshipped with gratitude.
Yeah.
Just be thankful for existence. It's not that they want you to like grovel at their feet. Just they want you to love. Like I say they because spirit's a mass energy. It's all like the collective. It's all different. It's on different levels. But yeah, replace the word worshipped with gratitude. And prayer, even like how can I say
Even
this?
if you just talk, like there's no right or wrong way to pray. You can just talk.
Right.
Like I just have conversations with the other side. Like I just talk to God. I talk to Jesus. I talk to whoever I want to talk to. I don't even like really pray. I just talk to them. And then I'm thankful. And then, I followed up with gratitude for everything that I have. Like that's the way that I pray. There's no right or wrong way to do it. Just talking to
Yeah.
the other side. That's it. But I've
And
seen it create
even
miracles.
exactly. And even like your tears for other people, when you have empathy, even the tears that you shed for others is a form of prayer. So even if you don't, even we have intentions, like our intentions don't always have to be complete full thoughts. They come from a different place than just our mind. And look, energy manipulation and how you think and react and do all there is something called that I'm going to talk more about probably in my classes because it's kind of advanced is energy manipulation. Once you learn how to manipulate energy and not necessarily just on a magical scale, not just like with candle work and stuff, but with your mind. I know that sounds like left field 11 stuff, but it's true. When you learn that your mind is just so powerful, that can be a form of prayer too, is your intentions. So
Yep, intention is very, very powerful, and that's why I always tell people, like, even when we're clearing a house, when we're doing anything, it's the intention that we put into it. So we have to have the intention for anything. Positive intention is always best. If you have the negative intention for something, then that's what will go into it. Like
yeah.
everything's about intention and belief. We were created to learn lessons, in my opinion. To learn lessons, to evolve. Kind of, I like to say we were an experiment.
Sometimes I feel that way.
What came to me, but
Throw them to the wolves. We'll see how they do.
yeah.
I'm okay with it.
And we learn from every life, that we go through. We learn from every life. So we have to take those lessons.
Yeah. For sure. And for you guys that are on my side of the stream, thank you for hanging around. I really appreciate y'all. I would do a heart, but I'm really crappy at it on that side. Thank you.
But and a lot of times we don't learn our lessons, and we got to come back and learn the same lessons. So, but humanity, unfortunately, isn't learning their lessons right now because that's where all the negative. Like there could be so much peace and love in the world if they would just learn their lessons and not fight everything with negativity and like you see so many people with road rage now. Like why? What is the point? What is the point to have road rage? Like okay, people aren't perfect. They screw up when they're driving. So
Yep. And Duran's saying especially like owning haunted objects because he owns tons of haunted objects, and it takes time to learn. Like I can even see his like energy. The energy and the space that he put up in a protective way around his haunted objects. And he's done that through his spiritual routines and practices. And that's super important. So that's all I'll share about it. But I think, it's really important to set up your own routines because it protects your energy.
I don't have good routines. I used to have really good routines, but I've gotten so laxed on it. It's ridiculous.
I mean, I'm hit or miss. It depends on my mood. I don't meditate every day for 7 hours to get my answers. I'm not like, that's not how life is for maybe some people, and that's cool. I'm not knocking it, but just for me, it don't work. I mean, meditation works.
That's how it starts when you open up. I used to meditate all the time when I opened up. But now that I'm opened up and I know how I channel, I know how to get information, like I go into a meditative state doing that. Like I probably should spend more time meditating, but I just don't make the time to do it, unfortunately. But I probably should because I do notice a difference. What are routines, especially for an Aquarius? So my routines are basically like wake up, hang out for a couple hours, do readings, then I'm at the nighttime. It's like you know, I don't know. I don't really
We're
have a
definitely
good reason.
creatures of the night. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
No, definitely. I've been trying to like switch everything a little
Good
bit so I
luck.
go to bed earlier, and it's just not working. I end up falling asleep on the couch, and it's just I don't know. So this is a good one. I always tell people that you have to remember that your kids have a blueprint. Your kids have lessons the same way that you did. They have choices and decisions and free will. So we do the best that we can. We teach them all the things we're supposed to teach them. As long as you're a good parent, you're teaching them to be a good person. That's all that you can do. Beyond that, it's beyond your control. They have lessons they're supposed to learn. They have things they're supposed to do. They have experiences they're supposed to have, just like we did. We go back and we look at how we were as kids. I mean, we have to kind of remember how we were as kids and at what we put our parents through. Like, we also have our own path. So you can't control their path. You can't control what happens or any of that. As long as you instill good values into them, that's all you can do. The rest is up to them. The choice and decisions are theirs. You know? So you don't screw them up. They would screw themselves up if they're the ones making their choices and decisions. You know, it comes a certain point where you get past, you know, you taught them everything that you have to teach them, but now it's in their hands.
Yeah. And it's their perception. I mean, as a child, our perception is different, way different. Like, really, you know, thinking back, like, I never really knew what I wanted to do until all this happened. And it was just like thrown on me, you know, but they are still figuring all that out for themselves. They're always, you know, perceiving things differently than we do because their brains are still developing and stuff. And adulting and parenting is very hard. And all we can do is our best.
They have to learn lessons just like we did. They have to rise and fall just like we did. I mean, you know, same thing. You know, you put yourself back, and when I was in 20, you know, I screwed up a lot, but I learned from it. I learned from everything in my life, and I look back, and I'm proud of some of my choices and decisions I made, and things like that. Yeah, no, I'm not, but I learned from them. I'm a better person. If I go back to who I was in 20 years ago, I'm not the same person. You know, so
Yeah.
we all grow, we all learn, we all mature, and that's our path. They have separate blueprints. Yes, they have soul contracts with you because you brought them into this world and everything, but they have their own blueprint that they chose for themselves, and you can't control that. They chose that for themselves. So tragedy by design is something I always suggest for people to watch. It's Life to the Afterlife. I think it's on YouTube. I think I posted it on my community page. Great thing to watch, all about blueprints, soul contracts, all of that. I learned a lot from that. So something I totally suggest.
Good
If
advice.
you want to learn more about spirit and, you know, spiritual paths and all of that and why we're here. Great learning tool.
Yeah, for sure. It's tough. I mean, Earth is tough.
Like I said,
Yeah.
it's the hardest place to come. You know, only the bravest
And I could
souls
believe that.
choose to do that. Yeah. Only the bravest souls chose to come here, and we come here because, again, we have to learn, we have to evolve. That's the only reason we're here. When we're done, we graduate, we go home, where we came from. So we're just a spiritual being having a human experience, and that's it. Like, we are spirit, we do not die. We just lose our physical body, and that's it. We just transcend
Yeah.
or transform. Would you get out of the tree? Quit eating it.
Of course, I would come back here and fight darkness. Of course, I would choose to come back here and, like, demons and stuff. You know, what else would I do? I mean, I guess life was boring before. Hell, I don't know.
You know, did I ever look back when I was in my 20s and be like, oh yeah, I'm going to speak to deceased people? Like, I'm going to read the future. Like, I never saw that for myself. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was going from odd job to odd job, and I was never happy. You know, when you find your soul path and your soul purpose, that's when you become happy, when you're on that path of what you're supposed to do. But it took a lot to lead me here. But did I ever?
Yeah.
That's why I always tell people, like, a lot of our kids don't know what they want to do when they're younger. That's fine. They've got to find their own way. You know, I keep seeing my son in forestry. I never saw that before until like a few months ago, and I started seeing him in forestry, and now I mentioned it to him. He's never liked anything, guys. Never liked anything, never had a passion, and now he's like, I just need my driver's license and I'll do forestry. Like, he really wants to do it. So it was interesting that spirit showed me that, because I'm like, what is my son gonna do? Like I was worried myself that he wasn't gonna find his path, and hopefully one day he'll find that path. It's a passion. Our passions equal our purpose. No matter
Yes.
what that passion may be, it equals our purpose. And that, like, people that love the medical field, they need to be a nurse or in the medical field. Like, you have to follow your, otherwise you won't be happy. You won't be happy if you're not following your passion and your purpose. Like, we all come with that. Like I said, this is in my astrology chart, but it took me falling to find it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I had to about lose everything. And that's what happened. The astrology chart, like we have our Saturn return around 27 to 31. And the reason I say that, it happens around 29. But we have that energy looming up to it and then, dissipating afterwards. And that's when our chart really is activated in astrology. So that is one thing I do offer for people that maybe just tuning in. I do astrology readings, and I'll do like a general one, but I specifically offer astrology readings for people that have intuitive gifts that want to know what their gifts are through astrology. That was a mouthful. But it's very important because your Saturn return kind of activates your soul's purpose. Some people do find it before the age of 29, but your 20s is literally like learning how to adult. And maybe for young folks that are watching this, it's really important. Don't feel that pressure to have to know right now, because the world puts that on us. I mean, you have to have a way to make money and you have to have a job, and sure, you should go to school and try, but I mean, I didn't figure it out till I was in my 30s. I was a bartender, event planner. I did mostly like work with people and stuff, and I mean, I did really good. I worked in breweries. I actually am a certified cicerone. I know how to brew beer and all that. I don't even drink beer anymore. Well, I can't really. I can, but I don't like the way that it makes me feel in my body and my arthritis and stuff. So I don't even really do that anymore. And that was a big part of my life. And I totally gave all that up. And I still can make drinks and I can still bartend, but I would much rather help people on their spiritual journey and help people that are like me, that are coming on board intuitive, and help them with their past relatives and do astrology and help people fight what we would call their darkness. I would much rather do this any day.
Well,
And I fit
and
here.
alcohol. I mean, it's okay to drink for like fun. Like I have like a drink for my birthday sometimes, like one.
Yeah.
Or like maybe once or twice a year. That's okay. But alcohol does take us from our soul path. It does lower our vibration. Like people that are doing the work that we're doing, we shouldn't be doing alcohol or any of that kind of stuff. Like we should try to stay as clear as we can.
Yeah. I firmly believe everything in moderation. Like, and I'm not saying like hard stuff in moderation. I never recommend that, but things that we all know what we're talking about, everything minute in moderation, right? I won't go any further because I don't want YouTube to take us down with blazing glory, but y'all can kind of get where I'm going with that. No excess, no excessive drinking or other things.
Well, it's like I said, it puts us on a lower vibration. It does take us away from our soul path and all that. Like it's okay, like here and there. I don't. I choose not to. Like I said, I'll have a Bloody Mary like maybe once a year, if I'm lucky, or if I feel like it. But like one, like just because that's not where my vibe is. That's not where I want to be.
When I was 21, I was busting the bars wide open, boy. I tell you
me
what.
Too. When I was 21, that's what I'm saying. When I was young, I was stupid. I'm not the same person I was back then. Well, in our 20s, I mean, us, you go and that's what you do. But now, when you're older and you have better things, to look forward to in life, it's like nothing. I don't have the desire to.
Maddie, I'm sorry to cut you off, but this one kind of hits home for me. Becoming disabled has left me wondering what is meant for me. So I think it's Maddie. So I have scoliosis, degenerative disc, and arthritis, and somehow, some way, I've been able to I can't work physically anymore. I work myself to death. I literally have enough points to get disability, right? But that's a super hard road. But I've been able to pull myself out of that depression, because I got depressed and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, I'm still like trying to build my services and like everything that I'm doing right now. But I'm telling you, the first thing that I did was I started making jewelry, and like making that jewelry, I didn't know at the time, but now I know that creativity is next to the divinity. That's when spirit started channeling through me. You don't have to be a psychic medium to do any of that, but just a creative project, like just making jewelry or finding something that's a low investment that you can do to kind of keep your time busy, because I resonate with what you're saying. But like I started off in my, like literally in my bed, I was so depressed. I could barely get out of bed. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to order this stuff from Amazon and I'm going to start making this jewelry. And me and my fiance made beautiful things, and we still do. Like I'm trying to get that back going too with all my services. But there is something for you, and there's always a reason. If I never became disabled, I would probably never do this work right now, because I would be doing multiple jobs, 9 to 5, running around like a chicken with my head cut off. And as hard as it is and as cruel as it seems, there's always a way. And following, your own discernment and trying to find things that bring you joy within your, with works around your disability is my best advice to you.
Yep. We all have, like I said, our passion is our purpose. So you have to find out what you're passionate about, and you have to monetize it. And there's so many things out there on YouTube now. Like I always tell people, find side hustles, or, there's so many ways that like people in their 20s are like making millions of dollars. Like there's ways to do it. There's ways that you can do it. You just have to find the right channel, find the right YouTube that talks about things that are possible for you, and look into it. Like, or find your passion and find a way to monetize it. Like we're always meant for something. And sometimes, a lot of times when we are disabled or we have issues, it's part of our lessons. We have to learn how to live with that, be grateful for whatever we do have. And also you can work on trying to heal yourself too, eating better. A lot of supplements can help. Like I'm fully blown on like I need to do it more, but I'm lazy. But the celery juice, whenever I do drink it, I feel a difference. I feel more energy. Like I should have been doing that the last few days. And getting energy healings, things like that. Like all of those things can help you. Like I actually posted something about healing yourself. People can do that. There's just sometimes it takes a little bit of work, and sometimes there's a lot of other reasons why we can have issues too. We can bring them from our past life. It can be cell memory. Like sometimes we have to heal that past life and heal that cell memory, and it'll change. It just depends on your situation. So I mean, we're always meant for something, or we wouldn't be here. It's just you have to find that passion and the things that you love to do and make it into a purpose.
100%. And I wish you the best of luck in finding that. And it's not a channeling session. This is just a discussion, but I think you're going to, and I'll leave that there.
Yeah. Our imagination is tied to our gifts.
Mm-hmm.
FYI. I'm the same way, girl, and I live around it constantly. Yeah, I do. I actually got a juicer, and I just juice the celery juice, and you just drink it. It actually tastes pretty good to me. But you're supposed to drink it in the morning on an empty stomach, and you're supposed to kind of cut out eggs because it's pathogen. If you watch The Medical Medium, he talks all about it and all the things that it can help you with. But you literally have to do it every day, which I haven't. I laxed on it. I hate cleaning out the celery juicer. But I need to do it more. I definitely need to do it more.
Yeah, something I like to do is apple cider vinegar with the mother, and I mix it with water, honey, and cinnamon and lemon juice. And there's a recipe online, you can find it. But if you have if you're insulin resistant or even diabetic, it is said that it helps. Now, I can only give you my, or even a lot of things actually, just body flush, all kinds of stuff. Look it up online, and it's really beneficial for people that can tolerate it. It doesn't taste that great, but this is just my experience. This is not medical advice. My grandmother had type 2 diabetes, and she did it every morning with me. We did our little recipe drink, and it regulated her blood sugar where she didn't have to actually take her insulin. So, and I'm insulin resistant. I'm not diabetic, but I have symptoms of being insulin resistant. And I think it's insulin intolerant or something like that. Again, I'm not a doctor, but it helps me. It helps me with a lot of things. So that's another good one too. I just wanted to throw that out there since we're talking about it.
You know that matcha, I found out regulates blood sugar. I was trying to tell my mom what matcha does, and olive leaf. Yeah, so the matcha drinks that helps regulate blood sugar. It's really good. The matcha tea, and olive leaf as well. But there's lots of things, like I watch a lot of those natural doctors. I don't know if you guys can find them. They talk about how a lot of times when like vitamin B1 and different kind of supplements are really low in our body, it can really cause a lot of issues. So
it can.
but there's a lot of those doctors that are like natural doctors on YouTube that, you know, you read the comments and they try the things that they say, and they, you know, they say it's helped so much. So I mean, it's really, we can really kind of take control of our health. Not saying that people don't have issues, but there is ways that we can make things better. And as far as finding your passion, still, it's just whatever you love. So whatever you love to do, you know. And sometimes you can get ideas. Like I said, YouTube is a great place to find ideas on things to do. I always like, you know, like I said, look up side hustles, or baddie in business is really good. Like, get ideas on TikTok. Like if you want to do something from home, you know, or get involved in a community, whatever, you know. Yeah. So
I agree.
Yeah, there's they'll tell you like the supplements for like nerves and everything like that. Like I'm totally, it's so crazy because, like, you know, I do medical medium stuff, and I was talking to someone that her husband was just diagnosed with Parkinson's, and it was so odd. Spirit told me milk thistle, and I was like, what? Let me look that up. And you look it up, and it talks about how milk thistle is actually really good for people with Parkinson's. I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I had somebody else. She has like an issue with like eating things. I can't remember what it was called. And Spirit gave me aloe vera, and I looked up aloe vera, and it's known to help with that. I was like, trip out some of the stuff they give me, you know, that actually helps with all that.
I actually get things like that too sometimes, and that's what I use to. I get like impressions and thoughts, and I really need to follow it more. I feel like I might follow that path more towards 40, so I've got a few years to kind of. I want to write some books about the paranormal and all that. Oh no, I don't mean it like towards you. I mean like for me. I mean, I have like this thing going on right now with. I know. But like teaching and the paranormal and stuff, and I think eventually, I mean, I'm already getting into herbs and stuff for myself, and also like my candle work and my essential oils and my moon waters and all that stuff that I can make. But I really want to go into the apothecary side of things. Like I want a herb garden, and I want to learn. I know I can energy heal with my hands. I see myself, and Spirit has told me I see me doing that in my 40s, because I still have unfinished business where I'm at right now. So I'm patient, and I'm trying to be patient, because I am the type of person that I want to do a bunch of different things. But I've realized as I've gotten older, it's just not possible. And you tread water when you do that. You got to focus on one thing.
Yeah.
Or at least a few things at a time, you know, like me.
Yeah, but you know, and if we think about it, back in the old days, like they used herbs for everything. So I think people have gotten away from that natural stuff, and they need to kind of get back to it, because it did help heal a lot of things.
It did.
So I truly believe in it. And that's just from, like, I feel like the natural things are really helpful if you're using the right stuff and you're using it religiously. Like I said, like I feel a difference when I drink the celery juice. I have a bad habit of not doing it every day. Because I'm like, I don't like cleaning out the celery juicer.
I get that. It's always something when it comes to house chores.
You're supposed to drink it on an empty stomach, and it's like, I gotta make celery juice and not eat.
Yeah, it's like I'm starving. But yeah, guys, you want to go ahead and kind of wrap it up with any last questions? Because I have a couple things I have to get to in the house. I don't want to really give out all my business, but I'm coming to a certain time where I might have to cut for now.
Yeah, no. Anybody have any questions or anything like that? And we didn't even really like stay on the topic what were we gonna talk about today? What were we gonna talk about?
Perception. I think, you know what, it's fine. I think this was our introductory thing. It's going to be tough though. You're right. We're both air.
It's gonna be
like
tough
ping pong balls.
I go all over the place. Yeah, exactly. I go all over the place, unfortunately. So it'll be interesting. I have a hard time staying on topic.
That's okay.
As I was saying, I have a hard time coming up with topics too. So
oh yeah, topics for days, but I'm going to probably follow suit, because what you talk about, I'm going to talk about, and then we're going to talk about, and then we'll get back on track. But you know what? I'm going to say right now, I'm going to ground myself, and I'm going to say whatever comes out of our mouth was meant to come out of our mouth, because somebody here needed to hear it. How about that?
And Maddie, the spinal cord stimulator might be an option for you. I hated it. I had it. I didn't like it. I had it taken out. But everybody's different. Everybody's different. Just do your research on it, you know. I feel like we're scattered. I don't even remember. And that's the thing, is like when I do lives and stuff like that, like I don't remember what we talked about. I can't even go back into like what we even talked about. I don't even know. I don't even remember. But yeah, a lot of times what we say we're meant to say. So does anybody have any last topics or questions before we go? Anyone?
I've snuck over from my channel to your channel so I can see messages come through, and to thank everybody. I know I could thank them here, but
yeah, they pushed it in my doctor's office too, Maddie. Like I said, I had it in, and then I didn't like it. But like I said, everybody's different. You might like it. All it does is mask the pain. That's what it does.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know,
I kind of get what you're talking about too, because my ex-husband's, so my father-in-law, my ex-father-in-law, he had one put in, and it helped him at first, but now it's been so long, I think he's kind of got used to it. So just pray about it, you know, ask for discernment. You know, that is your choice. Don't let the doctors push things on you. In my opinion, just my opinion, push things on you don't want to do. And sometimes when we choose not to do those things, they set up roadblocks and not allow us to do, you know, other things that we need to do in the doctor. So I wish you the best of luck with that. It really, so I have nerve pain too, and it like hurts if I stand up too long. One of my legs go numb, and sometimes half of my body will go numb, and it's not fun. So I'm definitely sending you positive thoughts and prayers.
I think that there's some supplements that can help with like nerves and nerve pain. Yeah, you'd have to just kind of do your research on it, but that basically what a spinal cord stimulator is, a TENS unit inside your body. So if you're okay feeling that, it's just masks the pain basically, but some people it helps. I mean, it's totally up to you. I would just do your research on it. But they usually do a trial run. With me, they did like a trial run, and you get to try it for a little bit, and then you decide if that's what you want. Mine was, they could have just fixed my SI joints, and I wouldn't have even had to go through that. I had to push for that myself, and I pushed the doctors, and I told the doctors, you know, this is what I need to have checked out because this is my problem. And you know, it's helped me so much with having that fixed. But you know, I had to be my own advocate. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if you know, make sure that you research it and you advocate for yourself, and you don't get pushed into something that you don't really want. I'm trying to think of what is it called when like they use, for some reason my mind went blank, but I can see it, like the needles. What is that called?
Oh yeah, the shots where they go in and numb them. I can't remember.
No, she's talking about burning. I'm talking about like they put needles all over you. What is that called?
Acupuncture.
Acupuncture. Have you tried acupuncture? Yeah, thank you. I couldn't think of the name of it.
It's okay.
I would also look in things for like does it say air signs are always everywhere on their mind? It's difficult for them to keep track. Yeah. Like I said, I'm all air. My rising, my moon, my sun, it's all air. And my Mercury. I'm all over the place.
Well, they said we did good. I saw on your chat, they said we did pretty well. So yay! Episode 1 down.
I would check out acupuncture. I don't know. I'm like getting that for you. So I would see if it's something that can help. And trying to reach out to a healer too might help. I'm fire. I'm all my emotions. Yeah, and so for those of you who don't, like, I learned this in astrology. This is the only thing I think I remember from astrology because I took it and I didn't retain it. And I think the only thing that I remember is air signs, we like to pluck crap out of the air. Earth signs are natural healers. Water signs are natural mediums. And fire signs are natural psychics.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But
and if you want to find out what and if you're intuitive and you know you are and you want some direction, you can always book an astrology session with me, and I will tell you exactly where it comes from and how much you are of each one. Some people on here that might still be on, they can vouch for me on that, but that would be cool. Sorry, shameless plug.
No, I'd love, I'd love to have one of those with you to an astrology reading.
Perfect, because I was going to offer you one for your birthday.
Oh, really? We should do it here. No, I'm just kidding.
I would rather do it personal.
I'm just saying, if you did it here, then people could see, and then you might.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's brainstorm, because there'll be some things that I want to keep private, but then we can probably do that.
Well, we could just record it and then.
Oh yeah, that's true.
For people that didn't see the one that I did with the other astrologist, like we go into my chart and Ted's chart. So that was really interesting. If you guys haven't seen that, I think that's in the TED playlist.
That was really cool.
My chart, yeah, it was really cool. My chart and Ted's chart, and like our reason for working together. Like, it's literally in our charts. Like, people can bitch about it all they want, but it's literally in our charts.
Yeah, she was on a totally different like wavelength with astrology. Like me, I'm more of a simple astrologer. She was using like tons of asteroids and all kinds of craziness, and it was making all these connections. It was wild. It was wild for me, and I know about the stuff. I thought it was pretty cool. Like, it was really cool.
She had to take a break because the energy from the charts were so strong, and I could even feel the energy from the charts. Like, it's literally in our charts. We have a past life connection. Like, literally, that's what we were supposed to work on together, or we're supposed to work on together. So, I actually haven't talked to him in a while. I probably need to.
Yeah, I haven't heard much about Ted.
No, I haven't. I haven't worked on a case with him in a bit. I had planned to. I think it was for like Savannah and Matt, and then like they ended up arresting the guy, and they ended up not doing it. So, I like to use them when I get stuck.
Yeah. I'm still kind of figuring all that out. I have different guides and I feel their energy, but I still don't like. Now, I have had help with Emily. She drew out one of my guides. It's like my grandmother guide, but she's like my Native American guide that helps me with all my herbs and stuff. And then I have one that's like an Akashic Records guide, and I'm trying to pick up Sylvia Brown because I just think that's really cool, but I don't know if she wants anything to do with me. So she did come to me in that dream, though.
I don't know who any of my guides are. I know that I have a new medical guide that came in like last year. And that's when my medical stuff started really kicking up. Which I never used to see things in the body like I do now. Like it and feel them the way that I do. Like, I never used to do that. Like, literally they've taken me into the anatomy of the heart a lot of times, or I'll see what happens with a passing, like more than like what's happening in the body,
Yeah.
And they have certain symbolisms for things, and then like I said, they'll give me certain things for like people to take and do and whatnot. But it's kind of crazy because I used to always like say like, I'm not a medical medium, and my mentor would be like, yes you are. And I'd be like, well, I don't feel that, because she was. She was a medical medium. Like, she was all into that stuff. And so I've learned a lot from it, but it really picked up last year. And I think it also has a lot to do with being a medical medium and doing the mediumship, and also doing the cases, because I can get more passings and see what happens in the body and stuff like that. Like, I've noticed like what that has really picked up on my cases or my readings and stuff. Because before, when I first started getting in, like when I first started doing mediumship, I couldn't even get passings or things like that. And that's what I'm saying, like we all grow like at different levels and when we're supposed to, but it's helped my mediumship a lot. And I noticed like even with the three chiefs, like me seeing the stuff happening with like the heart and stuff like that, and then feeling like, your breathing slow down and everything. Like, I could feel it, and I can. It's just crazy. It's just crazy how they like show me things in my, and like literally sometimes like my mouth will water and they'll be like, oh yeah, or I'll have a problem like that kind of feeling. And you know, literally that person that is a spirit had that problem when they were alive. Like just weird, some of the stuff that they'll give me and show me, like just little things. It doesn't even have to do with their passing. It's just weird.
That's clairsentience all the way.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's but at the same time, like I'll have that kind of clairsentience, but I won't feel spirit as much. You know, I don't really feel spirit that much, but I will feel like their pain or their passings or stuff, something like that. You know, like if I go into like a haunted area, like I can feel it in my body, but like I don't know like there's a spirit there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get senses. So it's almost like having a radar. Whoops, having a radar, and I get like a sense. I'm like, something's there. And then I'll start in my mind's eye. But you know what? I did kind of a house call type clearing recently in an old lady's house. And she was like, the basement was funky. And I was sitting on her chair, and she had her basement door cracked open because her big fluffy cat wanted to go down there. And like, I'll just do it like this. So basically, there was like the basement or whatever. And then it just went. It was solid black too. It was just like, oh no, it was just like, it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, my dogs are into something. Hold on one second. Don't go anywhere.
You're fine. Hey guys, I'm just using my pre-menopausal fan. Sometimes I have to break this out. I'm probably about 10 years away. But I don't know. They say it can last up to 8 years. So let's get hot flashes. But also that could be from spirit. And we're talking about spirit. And it's probably freezing outside. So I do apologize if this is a little annoying, but I'll hold it down. I got to have a little air so I can breathe. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed our chat tonight. I'm super excited to be a part of everything. And again, we said it earlier, if you're still watching, if you have any topics of discussion or questions, and you can put them in the comment section. You can put them here, but preferably in the comment section under the video. Give us some discussion topics.
Yeah. We need discussion topics, obviously.
Yeah. I was a little, I felt unprepared tonight, but I think it went really well. I think you're being hard on yourself and on me too. I think we're good. I'm just picking.
I'm very much like just fly by the seat of my pants. Just like I'm very chill about how I run my, I'm not like that. I don't know. I can't.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I think it's perfect though, because me and you, like, you know what, I can agree. We felt a little off topic, but every time we talked about something, I swear it came right back to perception. But I'm hard on myself like that too. I really am. When I
always have to tell people that, like in readings too, like it's it's like charades, the way that spirit shows us stuff. It's symbolism and visions and things like that. But how you perceive it and how it makes the most sense to your life is what spirit's trying to say. So, I always have to explain that perception part too. And I always try to explain it too, like my cards, like, because I'm new at reading the cards, but my perception of the cards might not always be dead on because I'm still learning how to use them and stuff. Same thing with visions. When you perceive visions, like my perception might not be right. So it's how we perceive the visions and things, and perception has a lot to do with this spiritual work. It really does. Like
it really does. And Rochelle channeled in the name. I liked it too because I'm all about perception. That's one of the first things Spirit started teaching me about was perception and how important it was going to be in my journey. And that is a good place to start, and it wasn't like super advanced perception topics either. I think it's the topics we discussed today, I think everybody can kind of relate to and, very much grasp. It's nothing too crazy or advanced. So I'm very happy, very pleased, and very grateful to be here.
It was Spirit's idea. Oh God, thank me. I just try to follow. That's like I tell people, like when I started using the cards, because Spirit told me to, because they know that it'll bring new insights into the case, which it already has brought new insights into the cases. I mean, it was more accurate than my readings on Savannah and Matthew. They were, They basically told us there was a family involved. It's brought in sometimes, like when I pulled cards for Suzanne, it showed me things about her Jen Dulos showed me things about her I never saw before, about where she was. Dylan showed me things about him before I never saw before. So I just try to follow. There's a reason that I always do things. There's a reason that I always say things, and I'm always trying to be spirit guided in what I do. So it's what's most important, and what I always tell people is that it's most important is to give them a voice and find out what happened and put it out there, no matter how we get that information. Like, it's just a tool. Like, I'll always channel, I'll always use my mediumship, I'll always use my psychic ability, but I can also use tools too to help expand that.
100%.
If Spirit's saying do it, then I'm gonna do it. And if you don't like it, you don't gotta watch it.
Yeah, I mean, I use them as a validation tool. And I use it to get more information on top of my channeling, and it works out great. I like them. I use them for my intuitive readings too, and it depends on my day. Some days I might not get as much intuitive information, and I do lean in on the cards sometimes, but that doesn't make the reading any less valuable, in my opinion. So
yeah, and I like to use them as validation too. Like, I don't really like to use them on cases I haven't read, but there is one case I do want to try them on and see before I can do a mediumship, because actually, Lizzie hasn't been feeling very good, so I'm probably going to have to find another sitter for when she can't do it. She's been having problems with her neck and stuff, so but between that and between me being really tired, I haven't really been able to get a lot on my YouTube. So also the cards are extra content because it's something I can do that's not too draining, that I can still put up, that's still helpful, And I want to do. Have you guys seen that case with the firefighter where both of his wives ended up gone, deceased? One was supposedly an accident, and one was supposedly an unaliving. I would like to pull cards on. I mean, I already know that it's him. I was already getting visions on it, but I'd like to pull cards on that because I don't really have time to do like a mediumship. But I just I got new cards that are pretty cool. Like the old school Kemper deck that gives like a mature man, mature female. Like, it gives like, I got those because it gives you more like people. Yeah. And I don't know. We'll see.
It'll be good because I haven't even heard of it, but I don't keep up with it like you do, of course. So I never hear. I hear of them from you generally.
Yeah. Well, no, I sometimes like I said, cases pick me. I don't pick them. And if I'm like, I kind of find them sometimes. Like, if I'm scrolling on YouTube and it pops up and I feel like a pull to it, then I'll want to do it. Or if like a case pops in my mind, like I'll think like Michael, I'd like to do another mediumship reading on Michael because he's kind of popped in my mind. Like, it all has to do with timing, and Spirit will give me like the order to go in. Like, one day they were trying to tell me to do, I think it was like Jen Dulos, but like I was trying to do Idaho 4, and I swear none of my cards were coming up right in Idaho 4, and I was like, I'm not doing this. And I did Jen Dulos, and they were accurate. So it was like Spirit was like, no, you're not going to go in your direction. You're going to go in our direction. You're going to do the way that we say to do it.
Right. I'm ready to see your cards.
They pick
your cards.
I don't need to make cards because I don't know. I made some cards and I just like we drew them out like to see, and I just don't know how accurate they would be.
I have a whole deck. I know this sounds really crazy, but here's an air sign thing for you. I channeled in my whole deck in 15 minutes. I was like, and they worked perfect with my reading. So,
well, I did that too. Like, I don't even know, like when I had somebody help me draw them out, and I don't know. I don't know how well they will work because it's like I put more like location and stuff. I just don't know how well they would work. But these are like the old Kemper. Like, I just got these. I haven't even used these yet. And I like it because it's like false person, message, mature woman, mature man, courtship, marriage, main female, main man. There's like toil and labor, poverty. Like, you could use that in crime cases, in my opinion. And then there's There's these ones. These ones are way cool too. Like I like to put them in the little things because I took some out of here that like didn't make sense because these seem like they're kind of like relationship cards, but I feel like they could be used for. It's called What's the Tea?
Oh, neat.
Yeah, and they're like a creeping card, and like a bad reputation. Like there's moving. Like there's stuff in here that can be used, like divination abuser, wolf in sheep's clothing. You know, like there's stuff that you can obsessive lover. Like there's stuff that you can use here for crime. You know.
Nice. I'm looking at them on my tablet. I'm not ignoring you. I just can see it better on here.
But I like found them and I was like, oh, they're like love cards, but they have a lot of like crime elements to them. So I was like, I'm gonna try those.
They're awesome.
Cards and see, you know, if I can get like I am also very much like trial and error. It's very much trial and error for me with the cards because I'm not like, you know, like I said, spirit drew me into them, and then they'll like give me ideas. So.
Well, this is all mine are. They're just writing for right now. I don't have any designs, and I might add some or subtract some, but I might make them one day. I mean, I know I want to one day, but it's not like on my list of to-dos in the next year because I've got too much going on, but they work. They really work, and I made them according to my readings, and Spirit just shows me if you want to make your cards, that option is available, and it might be very good for you. So.
Well, it's an extension of you cards are. Well, like I said, I made some. We just wrote them out, but I just don't know like how accurate they are because I like put kind of a lot. Like I did like blue eyes, blonde hair. Like I was adding.
You should.
A description of a person, and then I did all the details of a description of like where someone could be found.
Let's see.
You know that the other cards were missing, but I just don't know how accurate they are. So I mean, I haven't used them. They did. I tried to pull them. I was like, these aren't very. I don't know. I don't even know what I did with them.
This is just the front of my friend's card. She has a deck, so her deck's 96 cards, I think. And I'm not going to show those cards, but I'll show the back because she's released this. But yeah, she's got 96 cards in her paranormal deck, and it's very accurate. So, and I mean, it works, and you can keep going with them, and it really does. So, again, like you said, the cards are an extension of yourself, and she made an awesome paranormal deck, and it works very, very well.
Yeah, but that's what Spirit kept telling me. Like they're an extension of you. Like they kind of like take your block off. Like with Dylan that day. Like I kept seeing things I didn't see, and with Jennifer Doulos, I kept seeing things I didn't see. Like when I was pulling the cards. So there's always bits and pieces that we're getting all the time, and Spirit will show whatever they're gonna show. You know. So I don't know. And then it got confirmed a little bit with the balls, especially with Dylan. But you know, I kept seeing like I'm being thrown into somewhere, which I didn't feel that before. So
you know, that's really weird because my friend Emily and she don't do like true crime stuff. She's talked about it, but that's what I sent you on Messenger. She said that Dylan Rounds randomly come up, and I was like, that's really weird because she don't even really study stuff like that normally. She's thinking about it, but it's like, why would Dylan Rounds pop up? Because she was channeling, so I wonder if something's going to happen.
He likes to make his presence known. I noticed that, like, he's really strong, and he will validate stuff. Like I said, he was validating what I was getting, but he was showing it to me, obviously, because I felt like he was here, but it was like I couldn't see exactly where it was, but I can describe the feeling of being thrown into something or what was around or what was important. And so anybody from that area, if they were to follow what I was saying, they'd probably be able to find him. You know, like I said, Spirit kind of gives me directions. It's not like I can point on a map and say they're here. Like my gifts don't really work like that. It's more like if you follow the directions of the way I'm telling you to go, or that Spirit's telling you to go, then if you like in your passing things that I'm seeing, like it'll usually lead you to there. Or if you know, and we can't like try to make things fit. People always try to make things fit. It's usually how I see them. You know, we can't like make them fit. Like if I say that there's a rock here, there's usually going to be a rock there when you're like, there has to be that because I'm usually remote viewing areas. So I've had people tell me like, I did a reading privately, and I was describing like the path that they needed to take or the way that they needed to go, and she like didn't get it. And she said, well, they searched and they didn't find him. The same thing with the guy in the National Forest. They searched, but they didn't find him. And it's like, people get missed all the time. It doesn't matter if they've searched. They get missed all the time. I've seen it happen time and time again. Go back and search again. So she said when he was found, like the directions that I gave past everything that I had described, all of that. It was all there.
Wow.
And the person too, like we've found live people before, and luckily the person that I was working with knows how I work, and so she followed the directions and it led her right to where the girl was staying. So it's important to like, you know, follow and not try to make things fit, or, you know, a lot of people, I notice that people do that, like they'll try to make things fit, or it has to be almost exactly as I see it usually.
Yeah,
because it's
that makes
viewing
sense.
for me when I'm in an area. Like that's how I see things and find, like, describe things. I wish it was more like I point out a map and they're right here, but it's more like I'm describing how it would look if you were walking there, or what's around it, or what's passed on the way, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I get frustrated with location. I don't like doing.
I get that. And when I do remote viewing, I'm like, oh, sorry, I
you
say
can
it one
see it,
time.
but you can't find it. I was gonna say I can see it, but I can't find it.
Yeah, and when I remote view, I'm never
on this side. There's no echo on this side. There's nothing else open, so I don't know where the echo's coming from.
It's echoing into my ears, but I have my stuff on. I've been able to deal with it, but sometimes I think you're done talking, and then I start talking, and that's the only reason. But I will say, I see Dylan. That's interesting. I see Dylan basically like with his arm out under rubble and dirt, like his blue and black flannel. That's what I've always seen, and like just like deserty dirt, like he's under something and near a water source or a wash. That's what I keep getting for Dylan.
No, he is near like a creek or something like that's what I got. And then I also got a lot of rocks too, but it was like I was thrown in like a hole or down something. It's either a hole or a mine or something that's down something. But I don't know.
And have you determined in your well, I was going to ask, I remember me and you talking about this, but have you determined that for your intuitive opinion, do you think he's over in another state? Because I feel like he's near the border at the very least, if not in the next one. That's just my personal opinion, but
I did get the border, but it feels more like the direction that like the phone was pinging, like up.
Okay.
Like up from where, like towards the railroad tracks, like the way that the phone pinged. So.
Right.
I don't think he
I was just curious. I wanted to ask you.
It shouldn't be my mic. My mic's fine. Like I don't hear it on this side. That's what I'm telling you guys. There's absolutely no echo on this side.
You have to, the reason it's causing it is because if you have headphones, you would have to plug your headphones in to hear me. So that would cut it, I think. Like that's why during your lives, I think it'll happen, because if I was to turn it up, I think that's what it is. It's reverb or something. I'm not a technician, but that might be helpful.
Yeah, no, it's not. I'm not echoing on this side. That's what I'm saying. It's not here. I don't know if it's a StreamYard thing, because I've been having issues with echoing when people come on. But
you gotta have headphones. And you turn your volume all the way down.
No, because I got a thing saying from StreamYards that they were having echo issues with the earphones or the earbuds, and then they weren't anymore. But I don't even hear any echo here.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing. There's no echo on this side, so it can't be my mic, because everything sounds fine to me.
Normally, the only thing I know to solve it is the earbuds. Yeah, that'd be the only thing that could solve it. Let's find. I got earbuds out.
You're not echoing on that. That's what I'm saying. I don't hear an echo from you at all.
Oh, it's echoing so bad on my side, because it has to be. So generally, to fix that, both parties wear headphones and have to turn the volume all the way down. That's the only solution that I have. Might help.
I've never had to wear headphones before, and I've never had an echo until recently.
That's so weird because I have to with like lights at midnight and
No, I've
stuff
been
in
using
Zoom.
StreamYard for like a year. It just started
That's
doing
crazy.
it recently. Yeah, I don't hear there's no echo on this side. And even like the second reading that I cut, there wasn't, when I was doing the reading, it wasn't echoing. But in the
Right.
recording,
You might have to try. You might have to try the earbuds and see if it helps. It might.
No, because I've never had to wear them before. So
But you might have to wear them.
that.
It depends. You might have to wear them now, or at least try, because I thought it was just on my end. I didn't know it was in the video.
No, I don't hear it. That's what I'm saying. There's no echo on this side. When you're talking, you're not echoing. No, he wasn't put in a pond or water. He's not in water. His phone was. That's why the pond kept coming in, was because evidence. He's not in water. Watch the last card reading I did for him.
That's awesome. Well, lovely ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have to call it a night because I pushed an extra 37 minutes. I got to get off here because I have a couple things I need to take care of with the family. I got to get my kids to bed, and my fiance, hopefully he's up for work because he's supposed to be leaving in like 7 minutes. It is time.
All right.
Mommy duties call.
We will see you guys next time.
Thank you.